For relief, Mrs. Rollins, try this. Preparation H?
Pain, itching?
Sure, try this.
Preparation
My
H?
nickname should be Preparation H because I really do. Look, I have a whole. I have notes here. You know?
Feeling better today? Thanks to you in Preparation H.
Back in form, Bill?
Thanks to you in Preparation H.
Comics Wellspring. And yeah, this is printed with Comics Wellspring. Came out beautiful.
High quality stuff. People think it's fantastic. All the books that you see at my table are through Comics Wellspring. Good night for a title change.
Indie Comics Relay, guys. What do you think of that fight?
Hey, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Indie Comics Relay. I'm your host, Keith Gleason, creator of the Mighty Mascots and promoter for the Plastic City Comic Con. With me is always Johnny C., creator of Sartana, Surrounded by Death, and The Pond. For who, Johnny?
My good cousin Roger Morocco, who I hope is out there watching this tonight instead of political nonsense.
Awesome. And our third co-host, Harry G., graphic artist extraordinaire.
Hey guys,
Man, Johnny, you are not kidding with the political nonsense. I must have got at least 10 text messages today about vote for this, questions. I was like, Jesus Christ. I reported all as junk, so I just
spam.
I get emails, not
phishing,
text.
Spam.
Yeah,
What's
I
that?
got tons of emails, not text, but I guess the same thing.
God, it's
Garbage.
I can't wait for it to be over, and I don't. It gives a
It's
shit
hours
at
away.
this point. What's that?
We're hours
You know
away from it being over.
Yeah, I know. I feel like, I don't know. Let's
We
talk
might be
about
4
better
years away
things.
from it being over, but that's a different story.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, we, us. We don't want to get too political.
Yeah, we don't want to go down that road.
So,
Yeah.
gents, what's been up with you guys this week?
That's fine. I'm just sad that Halloween's over. It's like a few days ago it was Halloween and like sunny and warm, and now it's like dark, cold, and like
I know, right? Like, I love
Darkness.
the extra hour of sleep over the weekend, but
yeah, that was nice.
yes, last night when it got dark at like 5, I was like, or even
Did you guys
before
do-
that, it was like 4:30, I think.
Oh yeah, no,
And it was-
today is 4:30ish.
Yeah,
It's
it's
darkness.
like, just
You
like
guys
it's the
are
worst
history
time of year.
Live, just expect darkness.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And not the band, but the
Not the band.
you guys do
Charlie
anything fun?
Murphy.
Yeah. Did you guys do anything fun for Halloween or anything? Did you guys go out or party?
No, we didn't actually. We stayed home. We
Yeah.
never get kids at the house because we live down a dead end street.
I keep hearing
They
that
had
from
a
people.
couple issues of
third
Mighty
person I heard
Mascots just in case some kids showed up because we didn't have any
Yeah.
candy.
Yeah.
But we ended up just watching a horror movie or something that night.
Yeah. I got into the spirit this year. I don't usually like horror movies, but I watched a whole like marathon of them, and I went trick or treating with my little niece and nephew in Melrose, Massachusetts, and I made the mistake of making a dumb joke. That was like I went with my sister and her husband and the kids trick or treating, and they came along with like 2 other friends. Like they were dressed as Batman and Poison Ivy. And then like after walking around for a little bit, I looked at Batman. I'm like, hey, I didn't even know who they were. I just met the guy for the first time. I'm like, you probably should have gone. It probably would have been funnier if you had dressed up with a big bottle of calamine lotion. And I was like, what? He's like, and then the girl got it. You know, she's like laughing. He's like, "Oh, it's a good one." And my sister's like, "What are you talking about, Harry?" I'm like, "Whatever. You know, if you don't get it, don't worry about it." You know, but he didn't really appreciate it.
Amy reminded me about what we watched. She was actually had a small part in a you know how they make like fan films based off of like Star Wars or like Friday the 13th. She was in one that was based off of Halloween. So it's like I made like a Halloween fan film called like it's called like American Halloween 3.
Is the full length feature available yet? Or
yeah, if you look up American Halloween 3, you can watch it. It's like an hour long.
Post it in the link. Post the link in the comments. That way people can check it out if they want to.
Yeah. I'll throw it up on the screen. Yeah, it's not bad. Like, you know, for a fan film, it was pretty good. There was some hilarious parts in it, like unintentionally hilarious parts. And Amy's actually pretty fun in it. You know, she did a good job. She plays like like a mother, concerned mother who drinks a little too much, you know. So
I love drinking a little too much.
Right.
So if you like fan films, check that one out. She'll throw the link in the chat so you guys could check it out. And then we ended up watching, I think, Joker 2 that night, which not pretty as bad as people made it out to be.
Oh, really?
I didn't think so. I mean, I don't. So I think the thing about it, I think why people hate it so much is it's not the movie you want. Like it's all the aftermath of the first movie. So it's all like, I guess you would consider maybe somewhat boring is like the trial aspect, him being in an asylum. So it's like all like the, you know, the aftermath of the shit he did in the first one. And if you're looking,
this is what you want.
Joker,
this is what you get. This is what you want.
Yeah,
this is what you get.
It's one of those cases where the artist, you know, we often talk about this on the show, how writers don't give the audience what they want sometimes. This is exactly that kind of movie. I liked it overall. I don't think all the music kind of worked, but like if you go in with the right, you know, knowing what it is ahead of time, I think you won't be too disappointed. Like,
do you think your expectations were tempered due to all the bad reviews that you?
I think so, a little bit. I think I was a little more like, let me see how bad this is, you know. And then I went in, and it wasn't that bad to me.
Are you still against watching The Penguin at all, or have you tried that at all? Or?
I didn't love that Batman movie, so I just kind of don't have like an interest in The Penguin because of that, you know. Like I hear it's great.
Colin Farrell was the best part of that movie, though.
He is, yeah, and like I don't know. I just don't know if I want to go further into that version of Batman, you know. And that's what kind of what this Joker is. It's like not the version. It's got nothing. It's not going to be the Joker you want, no matter what, because like it's, you know. And I don't think, like, I know Nandor Fox Schaefer was saying it was a masterpiece. I don't think Joker 2 is a masterpiece. I think it's an okay movie, and it's not nearly as bad as people are saying it is. So I'd say watch it. You know, judge it on your own. It's a good fan movie. No, I don't think it's a good fan movie, actually. Because if it was, it'd be more like, you know, Batman in it, or, you know, more tied into the actual Batman universe, you know.
Right.
But that was what my Halloween was. Did you do anything exciting, Johnny, on Halloween, or do you remember?
So I kind of kept it low key. I've been trying to recover my digital life since last weekend.
Yeah, dude. I just noticed your Twitter was gone too, huh?
Yeah, they got everything.
So are you working on getting that back too? Because I tried to tag you on our promo posts, and your account's just gone.
Yeah, I'm the most butthurt about Twitter because I feel like I had like a really good following there. But I've submitted like support tickets, and I've had some reply that say that the case is still pending, and then I've had a subsequent reply saying that the case is closed and they're not restoring my account. So I think I'm just going to keep hammering them until I get some type of traction. I paid for Blue, so you'd think they would help out a paying customer, right?
Yeah, right. That's wild. Like,
yeah.
So,
but Oh, sorry.
Are they so? There's no way you can prove you got hijacked. Is that what the problem is?
I don't know. I tried to say that clearly it isn't me. And if they look at, IP addresses, they can see that in the same day, I couldn't have been overseas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if
Yeah,
they
right.
looked and they really did their due diligence, I'm sure that they could prove that it wasn't me. And
So they're
I
not
could
even
verify
willing
my
to do
identity.
that.
Well, it's just I'm not hearing back. They're not reciprocating
Okay.
data. It's like it's just me yelling at a wall.
We can send them a clip from the show, and Keith and I being confused. Like, where's Johnny?
My biggest concern is when I go to run a campaign that I'm not I don't want to reopen new accounts. And even if I do, I'm not going to have the same volume of followers and things that I had before. So I'm wondering how this is going to affect my campaigns going forward. And I almost don't want to go back to social media. So I'll have to think of alternatives or whatever.
Well, you got this
may be.
show too. We can help you push here,
Yeah, but I mean, it'll always make me wonder if it's the same impact. You know what I mean? Beyond that, though, I watched American Werewolf in London on Halloween night, which is kind of customary for me. There's 2 movies I watch during the season. One's always The Crow on the 30th, because that is Devil's Night, as in the movie itself. And I like to watch it in black and white by turning down the contrast.
This is the original one, right?
The original movie. Yeah,
one?
no, they're only one.
Yeah, the only one.
What are you talking about? There wasn't a Crow movie that came out in 2024. No idea what you're talking about. And then the other one being American Werewolf in London, and both are just remarkable movies that are just a shining example of the craft. So I always like to watch them every year.
Embarrassed to say that I've never seen that movie.
Which
American
one?
Werewolf. American Werewolf.
Oh, wow. Great movie.
It's a horror movie as much as it is a comedy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
one of the best werewolf transformation scenes as well, too.
Hands down. It's definitively the best one.
Better than Manimal?
Yes.
Way better than Animal. It's actually my favorite scene. It's just such a good transformation.
I think I've seen that, at least, that clip.
Yeah, you can watch the clip on there. That's a great movie. You should watch it sometime, Harry. It's good.
No, yeah, I'll do my list of movies. Because I was talking to Keith before in the green room that I want to see Young Frankenstein because Terry Garr is passing.
Oh, that's right.
I haven't
Young Frankenstein's good. Terry Garr was great too. She was like definitive 80s everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like.
I've seen her. Yeah, a zillion talk shows back in the day.
Yeah, yeah. No, I hear you. That's cool. Anyway, so yeah, we got a great show for you guys tonight. We got 2 guests. Actually, one of them just stepped away for a minute, so we can talk for a few minutes here. But we have RJ Carter, who hasn't been on the show in a while, a couple of years, I think. I'm curious to get caught up with him because now, besides running Critical Blast, and he's doing publishing, and he's also doing his own fulfillment center. Like he fulfills people's campaigns and things like that, especially overseas stuff. So that'd be cool to learn about.
I was going to say, I think we may have even dabbled upon, or he spoke a little bit about that last time. So it'll be kind of good to get the update and see where he's at and all that.
Yeah,
good
and
stuff.
see how it's taken off. And then for the first time showing up on our show, who we see in the chat all the time is Diast Cartoons, Devin Hodges. He's on the show tonight. So he's a first timer, so we don't know anything about him. So it'll be good to have him come in, tell us a little bit about himself as a creator and everything like that. So
I love when you can graduate from the chat to the show.
Yes.
And then eventually as host, like Harry did.
Yeah.
Right. It's still an honor to be here.
Oh, absolutely.
We're honored to be in your presence, Harry.
Well, no. Please. It's all on this end.
Well, I feel like Harry's kind of integrated into the show now. We found our groove with Harry now,
Yeah,
I've seen people. I've heard of stories of people people eating a lot of junk food and stuff, and then sitting on the couch for too long, they integrate into the couch. I'm kind of like that, like when you're melding into the couch. But over the week, I don't know, this is kind of a weird story, but I was watching, there's a post on Facebook and some guy posted like a Mount Rushmore of comic characters. Like, and he had on, who do you have on? He had on Captain America, Batman, Spider-Man, and Superman. So who would you put on the Mount Rushmore? Because I think
so Batman,
at least
Spider-Man, and Superman. I think those are pretty solid.
Cap. I think Captain America. Captain America. I think you should have like Wonder Woman in there, or maybe should you have 2 Marvels and 2 DC characters, or should I don't know how would
tough.
be.
I mean,
I would do Too Much Coffee Man, the Flaming Carrot, one if not multiple Ninja Turtles,
and Rope Man.
Is that your own personal one, Johnny?
No, I'm just trying to throw obscure indie comic characters that nobody's heard of.
I think
that are actually the true foundation of indie comics.
Yeah,
well, there could be like a different.
That's good. Yeah,
it could be multiple Rushmores, I guess. Like indie comic Rushmore, and then like a DC Marvel Rushmore.
It wouldn't be a bad question or a bad topic for the show to like figure that out. Like,
that's kind of what
Rushmore. I would say that one is almost pretty solid, although I would swap Captain America out probably for Spider-Man.
No, he's in there. Right? He was in there.
Oh, Spider-Man was there?
Yeah, they have. What do they have? I have took a still of it.
I think Cap might be more an important character, but I feel like Spider-Man's more popular.
Yeah, Spider-Man,
I did forget
Superman.
Milk and Cheese. Thank you, Unhinged.
Oh, Milk and Cheese. Yeah, that's a great one.
Milk and Cheese, totally.
That's a great one. But all right, so our guests are here and ready in the backstage. I'd say without further ado, let's
not keep them waiting any longer.
All right, so first let's start off with returning guest RJ Carter. RJ,
thank you.
Good to see you, man.
Welcome back, man.
Welcome back.
Good to be here.
Hey, how are you?
Awesome. And then,
and Golden Age, Human Torch, Dormammu, and Firestorm.
Yes.
Yes. I like that.
We'll smoke it on a volcano.
That's a fire. That list is fire.
Rarely do we recognize the ones and the twos of the characters, right? Like Green Goblin 2 or Hobgoblin 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's great. And then our second guest tonight, Mr. Devin Hodges from Diast Cartoons. What's up, Devin?
Yeah.
Hey, how are you?
Doing great.
Nobody's done that before. I like that. Devin, fucking you nailed it, kid. You nailed it. It's almost like the intro to Saturday Night Live. It's like, and Devin Hodges. And you turn around, you strike a pose.
Either that or the voice.
Turn up on that.
Yeah, right. It's great. Great.
RJ, do you want to take a mulligan and come back in?
My chair doesn't rotate. You'll basically get me spinning around and then falling over to the side and hearing a crash.
That'll work.
We don't want that.
That'll work. Look at this. Devin wins. I love that. That's great. Yeah, actually, before we get into the interview, let me just zip through the chat here tonight. That's one thing I forgot to do. Just say hi to everybody watching us. Ara's in the chat as always.
Ara,
greetings.
Thanks for watching, man. Awesome.
As always, love seeing him here. Okay, what did he say?
Thanks to everyone watching tonight,
yeah,
really.
Absolutely. Dr. Mass in the chat. Hail
Dr.
Indie Comics Relay. Good to see you, man. Who else we got?
This is normally where Diast would be in the chat.
Yeah, he agrees. Let's talk about anything but politics. I agree. I'm so sick of it.
Amen.
And then Amy said, give a plug for her acting in Halloween 3, which I did throw the link up if you guys want
we'll have to check that out. I hope the link is in there for people.
It is. And then let me see.
I hope
reference to
Amy
Joker 2. She said Lady Gaga was great, but neither actor had enough to do. Gary Puddles was the only part I liked. And Gary Puddles was the small person from the first movie. If you remember his clown friend there, he's in the second one as well.
The little person.
The little person, yeah.
Yep.
Dr. Mash said, I thought the Batman movie was great. Watched the first Penguin episode, and it was better than the movie, in my humble opinion. And
so
then,
real quick, Devin and RJ, did you guys see the Batman, and what did you think of it? Just real briefly.
Are you talking about the Robert Pattinson one?
The Robert
Yeah,
Pattinson
the
twinkly
Pattinson one.
vampire
That was
one.
pretty decent. I'm not like really much into a whole lot of superhero movies, but I would go watch them whenever like some of my friends invite me out to go see them. And that was a pretty decent movie.
RJ?
I freaking loved the Batman, and I went in with the lowest of expectations because it's Pattinson, it's not in the DCEU. We're saying goodbye to the Snyderverse. That thing was a Charles Bronson movie with a cape.
That's a good take, actually. That's not a bad
pretty
take.
good take on it. Yeah,
I agree that Pattinson was good. Like I would watch, I think another one with him, but with a different director, maybe. But I didn't love the runtime. Like I thought it was way too long, and
it was long. And it's
Square
it's
Garden
so
was too
grounded.
identifiable.
What'd you say, RJ?
It's so grounded that I think they would ruin that particular universe if they tried to introduce a Superman or anything else. I think as long as
I agree.
Totally no supers. I mean, closest you can get is like Mr. Freeze, and Poison Ivy better not communicate with plants. She better just like grow stuff.
Yeah, right.
I like that. What were you gonna say, Devin?
I think it was talk about like his comment about the DCEU. I always feel like they always had like hit or miss movies, in my opinion, because I really enjoyed the Shazam movies. But then you may have like something that might not like really hit that much. I'm trying to think about like which one you can already.
I thought The Flash was terrible. I don't know about you guys.
Horrible.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Horrible.
Yeah, they have a
like
lot of bad.
Like Wonder Woman 84 was kind of like one of the slight misses.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I agree, 100%.
Yeah, first Wonder Woman was great. But yeah, so a couple more comments.
Let's run through it.
Let me see. Dr. Mass said he loves The Crow as well.
Who doesn't?
He said, sorry, I thought the Batman was not great. Look at this, Ara. It's an honor to know you, Indie Comics Relay. It's an honor to know you, buddy, man.
Right. Ara, you're the
Appreciate
best, man.
that, Ara.
Love you.
Dr. Mass said Flaming Carrot is great. Isn't that also where the Mystery Men came from?
That is
Flaming
where Mystery
Carrot?
Men came from.
We just watched that not too long ago, the 4K version. Man,
Yeah,
that movie
that was a good remaster. Yeah,
it was, except the effects look worse now, but like everything else looks great.
Yeah,
like,
as soon as the resolution increases, the fucking effects go downhill.
Yeah, best line in the movie, William H. Macy, when he says, hey boys, we got a date with Destiny, and it looks like she ordered the lobster. That's one of my favorite lines from the movie. It's such a funny movie. And then he said, you forgot Milk and Cheese.
I did.
Milk and Cheese was great. That was a great book. Let me see. Oh, look at this. Any character from Keith and Johnny C on my Mount Rushmore. Oh, man.
Now Ara's just buttering us up.
I know.
Thanks, Ara, man. You're too fucking sweet, man.
If I was charged with making the Mount Rushmore, now it'd be a totally different lineup because it would be Cynical Man, it would be Block, it would be Concrete, and it would be Geo from Star Wars because I'm lazy.
There you go. Concrete. That's another good indie.
That was
one.
a great book. Yeah. What about Boris the Bear? Put Boris the Bear up there. Remember that?
Now I've got to sculpt something. See, I can just put 4 rocks up there. And
I think I should do the Bone cast.
Yeah,
Bone. Yeah, Bone.
Oh
should be up there.
Oh,
what about
absolutely.
Thing? The Thing?
Which one? Thing?
The Thing?
Yeah, he's dropped already.
Oh, I can see that makes sense.
Yeah, that would work.
The Thing should be the mountain. Like just is squash,
absolutely.
and then across his head like pimples are the fucking other characters.
Yeah, right.
That guy could just blend in.
Yeah.
That could be a funny
Dr.
shirt.
Mass said Evan Dorkin is great. I have to agree with that. Let me see. Awesome. Oh, look at this. Amy said, awesome to see Diast in person. Great entrance.
Yes.
LOL.
Hells yeah.
Let me see. Penguin series is so good. Unhinged said, have you watched that, Johnny? The Penguin?
Not yet. No, there's too much stuff to watch.
The one I just started on Max, which is really funny, and I recommend to everybody, is The Franchise. It's,
yeah.
It's like
I started that.
One of the creators of Veep, and then another guy, I forget what his credits are, but really funny insider Hollywood stuff about a crew making a superhero franchise and all the BS that they have to put put up with behind the scenes. Really funny
Ooh,
stuff.
that sounds fun.
Yeah, it's good. I highly recommend it. It's really
It's
funny.
the funniest blinding I've seen in a movie in a while.
Yeah,
or a
the
TV
first
show.
episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Let me see. If they had dropped the last 30 minutes, Batman would have been better. Patterson, terrible Bruce Wayne.
Time is
like his,
definitely my biggest contention with that movie. I feel like it's just too long. And again, Madison Square Garden's way too identifiable as Madison Square Garden.
Yeah. Wonder Woman 84, horrendous.
Yes.
And she said, oh man, the Wonder Woman 84 is a disappointment. And Heather R said, DS, me and Keisha are here watching the stream. So we got some fans watching you. DS.
Nice.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank
Heather.
you for watching.
Yeah, Heather and Keisha, thanks for joining us. But yeah, no, thank you guys for both coming in. So DS, Devin, since you're a first timer, the question we always ask is how you got into the making comics. Was there like something you can point to in your past, like a comic, movie, TV show, cartoon, something like that put you on the path to becoming a creator?
Okay, so I originally didn't start out with comics, but I was inspired by the Archie run of Sonic the Hedgehog, and then a couple of Super Mario comics, most notably the Super Mario Adventures comic from Nintendo Power.
Yep.
Those were like some of my favorite comics to read growing up.
Okay.
I was always more into animation, so I went and pursued that until I got into college, and I heard a local comic book shop was wanting to publish locally made comics. And so
cool.
I was like, you know what? Let me try this out. And that's how I got into comics.
Was there a specific cartoon that you were inspired by?
So I would say Static Shock and the Fairly Odd Parents, just to keep everything brief.
Yeah. Oh man, Static Shock was a good show.
Static Shock. Dwayne McDuffie,
I never got
right?
into the other one, Fairly Odd Parents. I know that was popular, but I never watched that one. But Static Shock, I've seen. Love that show.
What part of the map are you in, Devin?
So do you mean like the United States?
Where are you located?
Oh, I'm actually in Tennessee.
Tennessee, okay.
Memphis.
Just for perspective. Yeah. Do you want to shout out your local comic shop?
So I don't have a local comic shop, but there is an upcoming local Comic Con called Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention on the 23rd to the 24th of November.
Nice.
Coming right up, right around the corner.
Oh yes.
And you're gonna be tabling there?
Oh yes.
Nice.
That's cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, we were talking a little, Johnny, I think you weren't in yet, but we were talking a little behind in the green room about he was saying that the Tennessee area has about a handful of shows a year, you said, right, Devin? They have like 4 or 5 conventions now, or?
Yeah, it feels like almost every month there's a convention going on.
That's good.
Have you gone to any other?
We got too many up here. Maybe we can send some your way.
Yeah. Have you primarily stayed in Tennessee for conventions, or have you gone elsewhere? Or
I went to Corinth, Mississippi last year.
Mm-hmm.
They have a little Comic-Con there. It's like happens once a year. It used to happen in January, but now they moved to November just past this weekend. So
Gotcha. Yeah, because you guys don't get snow down there, right? Like
sometimes,
but it's very rare. So you could have like shows year round, which is nice. Up here, our convention season primarily goes April to like November. And sometimes you'll see a couple shows in December, but that's about it usually.
You know what? And sometimes those earlier shows in this area I do better at. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Like the first show of the year by like natural, like the first show of the year in the area by like just natural instance is like you always do better at, because it's like the first show back for the year where there's that like little bit of a gap.
It's right before taxes time and all that stuff.
That stuff, all that. Yeah.
You guys
RJ,
able to recap? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to ask him how the convention scene, because RJ's in Arkansas. So, like, is the convention scene good in that area?
There's some conventions, but it's the problem, the modern problem of comic conventions that don't have any comics at them.
That's what we see a lot of.
We have Arkansas. Arkansas Con, and I went last year. The only time I've gone, I've always bemoaned the fact that they were nothing but celebrity meetups now, but they hooked me in because I'm like, how many more years have I got a chance to run into William Shatner? So,
yeah,
Right.
He's like he's
was
omnipresent at every convention. This past weekend was Rhode Island Comic Con. He was there.
Was he there?
He's everywhere.
Never take it for granted though, because I'd see John Cassaday at a lot of shows, and he's no longer with us.
Yeah, true.
It's hard to believe that
get the
Shatner is like 90 years old, 91. He looks amazing for 91, 92. Good for him for getting around.
And Christopher Lloyd was at the same show, and Christopher Lloyd looks like he's 50 years older than Shatner.
Yeah,
actually,
that's crazy.
The entire Back to the Future cast was there. I mean, it was Michael J. Fox and
oh wow!
Did you go, Harry?
And Biff. I wanted to, and I was like looking at the list of people. I'm like, besides like the Back to the Future people, and of course the Police Academy people, and of course and maybe Punky Brewster too. There was really nobody there that I cared to meet.
Wow, they don't even try to keep it in the Comic-Con circle anymore.
It's like everywhere. I don't know what.
That's funny. What was I gonna say? Yeah, that's the same thing around here, RJ. There's a lot of celebrity shows. Although I'm starting to see a little pockets of comic focused shows starting to pop up around this area, which is nice. I want more of that, and I hope that makes it come back.
I went to the Northwest Arkansas Con last year because I actually had a comic book person there, and it was Tom DeFalco.
Oh, okay.
And there was nobody at his table. So I just, I was tabling. So I just ran over there and said, hey, I didn't bring anything, but you've got books here. I'll buy one of these and get a signature. I just want to say thank you for, all the years of doing this. And I gave him, I was writing, I'd been writing The Destroyer, the Remo Williams stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Here's one of my books I signed for you because I know Marvel did them. He's like, yeah, I was editing that. I didn't know they were still making them. And then he comes over and we're talking about Destroyer for another half hour.
That's awesome.
Great.
Well, I have William Patrick Murray does my Comic-Con up here in Leominster, and he wrote all those Destroyer comics for Marvel, the magazine ones.
The Blue Hulk.
And that
was fun.
What's that?
The Blue Hulk issue. That was fun.
Yes. What did you think of those? I talked his ear off about the Destroyer because I love that franchise. And,
they were a lot of fun.
They were, and they came out at the right time because I wasn't aware of Remo Williams until the movie had come out, and then the comics hit, I think, right after the movie. And then I realized that it was like this whole other thing. And I was like, oh my God, this is awesome. And it kind of got me into that whole, that whole genre.
I got into it through a fan contest. Really, they did an open call for anthologies for just fan fiction.
Okay.
And it was like they'd only done it once decades before. And I was like, oh, I'm in because I just found the Destroyer. So I got hooked into writing for the franchise for a while through a Destroyer Batman crossover story in the More Blood anthology.
Oh wow, that would be a cool story. Actually, I would love to see that turned into a comic. That'd be fantastic.
That would be a writer's nightmare, I'm sure, but
it would be.
They let you write fan fiction in this anthology.
What's that? What's that, Devin?
They let him write fan fiction in this anthology.
It was nothing but fan fiction.
Yeah. Are you Devin? Are you aware of the Destroyer franchise or no?
Not really.
There's a movie that came out in '85 called Remo Williams. The Adventure Begins with Fred Ward, and that's their attempt to film this character in a movie. But it's like RJ, how many books are there? There's like 200 at least, right?
156.
156 books of the Destroyer, and then there's a bunch of comics too.
So when you were there's Coke or Pepsi, right?
Yeah.
So it was either you were reading you're either reading Remo Williams or Mac Bolan the Executioner.
Yes,
I was reading Mac Bolan the Executioner. So aside from, because I didn't know for the longest time, because I was familiar with Remo Williams, but I never knew that was that series of books. You know what I mean? Because it was just like
Remo Williams was satire and parody of Mac Bolan,
right?
Because
Exactly.
Like they're making fun of crap all over the place in that thing.
Right.
In fact, they even made fun of the executioner in one of the books, Bay City Blast. Even titled it after like a typical executioner story, and they parodied the butcher with the baker. They parodied the executioner with the exterminator. He just all these action heroes were in this one book.
Kind of like the way the Tick is to superheroes. It's just like, there's always that approximate version that's a parody of it, right?
Exactly. And of course, he kicked this thing off in late 60s, but it didn't get published until the early 70s, back when, America was just discovering this ancient and mystical and mysterious thing called karate, imported from the Far East. So Remo was going to be this karate guy. And before long, karate was like everywhere. They're like, well, we could do ninja, but then we'll probably get, caught up in all ninja stuff. So they just gave him this made up martial arts thing called Sinanju. And
Yes.
Sinanju is basically the sun source of all martial arts. Like if Sinanju was the Library of Congress and you were allowed to go in with a Post-it note and write down as much as you could in an hour and walk out, you'd have ninja.
Yeah, that's right. It was like the source of all karate, right? Like all karate came from Shinanju, right? Wasn't that the whole thing? It's great. Great
All of
stuff.
them. They all stole.
Yeah, I know.
In fact,
But then the ability to
for
dodge
Sinanju.
bullets too, that was like cool.
Oh, he could feel the force waves and outstep them. The symbol for Sinanju is like a rectangle with a bar going through it. It's the same symbol as China uses for the country's name, China. That's because China hasn't paid their debt yet, and they owe them, so Sinanju owns them right now.
Is that like Jim Cotta?
Jim Cotta.
Jim Cotta. That's a great movie. I love Jim Cotta. It's so horrible, but it's so funny. But yeah, Jim Cotta could have come from that,
Maybe.
My favorite was Gun Cotta from Equilibrium.
Yeah.
My favorite.
Johnny, have you ever seen Jim Cotta?
I've not seen Jim Cotta. I've seen like the trailer. I'm aware of it, but I never watched it all the way through.
It's pretty funny.
I don't know if it was ever worth my time, but
it's worth it if you watch it with friends because it's a funny movie, like unintentionally funny. One of the best unintentionally funny movies.
The challenge is convincing other friends to watch it.
Yeah,
you want to watch this movie? It's called Jim Cotta. And they're like,
there was a funny Family Guy clip of that too. Stewie was like showing off his Jim Cotta moves.
Oh, really? Well,
Yeah.
Jim Cotta to me was just karate with unnecessary cartwheels and backflips like that were needed.
We've talked about recording like a Mystery Science Theater indie comics relay commentary where we're just watching the movie and we have people queue it up and listen to us as we watch it. We should do a special episode of Jim Cotta where we've got now a reason to watch it, and then people can listen to our commentary.
I think it's that time of year because when I was, younger, I used to have like MST3K marathons during Thanksgiving, like all day long to be playing like, like the 50-foot man or whatever, or Glenn or whatever, or what else? It's like or Mecha Godzilla versus Godzilla or whatever.
Oh yeah, and they just do the.
I don't know why in the world some of those like karate movies remind me so much of Miami Connection.
Oh yeah,
Connection. Yeah, okay, I remember that. Yeah,
I still like that Against the Ninja song.
Yeah,
that's right.
God.
That's right, and it's all kind of derivative of Last Dragon.
Movies.
Yeah. Oh, I love the last. Show enough.
Yeah. It's good stuff, man. All that stuff from like the mid to late 80s was so good.
Yeah.
Canon Group stuff. But anyways, one thing I wanted to say about Remo Williams though, like I was excited when they announced that Shane Black was going to remake it and like bring it out as a movie, but then haven't heard crap about it since.
Well, that's because Predator.
Is that what killed his movie? Like him making that?
Because he was coming off The Nice Guys, and we were all like, "Yeah, That's
this
the
guy's
Remo Williams
perfect
universe.
for Remo Williams. Yeah, definitely.
So if Predator had made money, he'd have been doing this faster.
So did the rights revert back to whoever?
I'd be the last person to know.
Yeah, I mean, it's been so long now since that Predator movie that I doubt it's ever going to happen.
Isn't that
now at
amazing
this
that
point.
2 governors came from that movie?
Yeah,
Crazy.
Right?
Crazy to think about.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. Wow, that's true, huh? Never
Yeah.
thought about that.
And one of them was a professional wrestler.
Right.
Yeah, that's true as well. Oh, look at this. Nobody tells
And
me
Navy
there's a
SEAL.
party tonight.
And
Hey,
Navy
what's
SEAL.
up, Madness? That's Pops Van Sant. What's up, Pops? What's going on?
What up, Pops?
So yeah, so I don't know. Did you guys have a question for the guest, Harry or Johnny? Did you
I got
guys have
several
anything?
questions, of course. Oh, good.
No, Harry's got several questions ready to go.
Well, go ahead,
I'm
Johnny.
more of like
Go
a
ahead, John.
reactionary fill-in question
John.
guy.
Go
So,
ahead, please.
Harry, please take.
No, I
take
was
it
I
away.
was gonna have one for Devin here. So I noticed the game back behind you there. I forget what you said it was, but
It was a
you think-
rally something, right? Or is it?
Well, it's a multi-cade board in there, so it has like 60 arcade games in at the moment.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
And
So would
I think I'm just stuck with those 60 games because I can't like add or take anything out.
Are these like old school games or like newer games or?
They're old school titles, so you got like Pac-Man, Donkey Kong. I think right now it's about to show Tank Battalion. That was kind of like a more
Perfect.
obscure arcade game from the early 80s where you're like
Oh, I love
moving
that's
a
my
tank
wheelhouse.
around trying to defend a base.
I had a terrible Mrs. Pac-Man addiction for a while, and I was playing it regularly, trying to beat scores, dreaming about Mrs. Pac-Man, seeing her in my sleep, having nightmares.
Oh,
She's a well-rounded
That's
lady.
amazing.
You have oh, so my question was going to be my real question was going to be do you think that video games was like your gateway drug into like comics? Because you said that you were reading Hedgehog or Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, probably.
Books.
And
Oh,
then
yeah.
Super Mario Brothers. Yeah.
Yeah, because growing up, I was really into video games more
Mhm.
than cartoons and comics. So that was like one of the things that really inspired me to do art. I was always a big fan of playing the GameCube. That was
Mhm.
Oh,
my
okay.
favorite system growing up.
You
Oh,
still
and
have your GameCube?
Unfortunately, the thing broke down, so now I have my Wii.
Okay.
It's still broken.
And I read somewhere that there are some characters that you liked growing up, but there was no figures for them, so you made paper dolls of them.
Oh yes. So
Do you still have some of those?
unfortunately, I don't have any of them.
You don't? Can you give any of those?
Well, Sonic the Hedgehog, I noticed even at the shop, is still such a popular comic. Like IDW's got the license now, and
Oh yeah, because I rebooted it.
we actually get more of that book than we get of some of the bigger superhero titles, which is crazy. Like, because like the shop I work at is also half video games, so I think we got a lot of crossover from that audience too. And Sonic is huge. Like the store orders a bunch of the both covers, and they get the retailer incentive cover and everything. It's like nuts. But yeah, it's popular. It's like I was actually surprised by how popular that comic is.
Well, they're still making movies too.
Remember
with Sonic.
Yeah, true.
Sonic 3 is out, I think, or has been out.
It's coming out. Yeah, it's coming out.
Remember when comics were trying to cross over with the video games, and you
Right. Yeah, where did it go wrong?
Stuff for skins, and it's like you had the big 4-player X-Men video game and the Turtles video game.
Oh yeah, I've
and
never
it's
seen
like,
those.
it didn't catch on to stick around long enough, but it left the door open so all the video game players said, hey, well, we'll just go your way and come into your house and make comics of us.
Oh gosh, the Ninja Turtles game. Growing up with GameCube, there was a Ninja Turtles field game, and they actually had those arcade games that's unlockables on there. So
that's cool.
You actually had to beat the whole main game, and you get those arcade games that's unlockables.
That's cool. I like that. That's great.
This has got me thinking of the Venn diagram between comics and video games, and how it actually flows both ways. Because I don't know if you recall, back in I think it was the early 90s, there was Acclaim, the video game studio Acclaim. They would make several video games. They actually had a cartoon series that featured all of their primary characters from their video games all together. I think it was in Video Power was the name of the show. And they would have like Quark, Bigfoot, the Barbarian from like Wizards and Warriors, and like basically all the model Acclaim characters as a cartoon show. But then later on, Acclaim also had cross licensing with comic companies. So they would then start producing comic books.
Didn't they own Valiant for a while too?
Well, exactly. So that's what it was. They bought Valiant and they became Acclaim Comics.
That's when Turok became like a comic. I mean, it was also an old comic from the back in the day when Dell had it, but I think
it became a popular video game.
The video game version of Turok became a character when they owned Valiant, and then. Yeah, I remember that. It was crazy. They didn't own it for very long. I would say a couple of years.
Rated M.
What's that? What'd you say? Rated M. Yeah. I remember that.
And to complete the triad of comics, video games, and wrestling, was it Captain Lou Albano was Mario on the live action show?
Yeah, that's right. He used to show up.
Degrees of separation of everything.
Exactly right.
And now that I'm thinking about, that I said there was a door opened and the video game characters went into comic books. I'm leaving off here tonight. If any of you guys does it before me, I will hunt you down and kill you.
Okay.
I'm going to write a premise to Disney and say, hey, Wreck-It Ralph 3 is him joining over to the comic book world. We'll have a comic book about him being a comic book character.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that. That's how he ports over, is that a comic book was made of him, and therefore that's how it gets ported over. So he's now plugged into the comic world. I like that. It's a great concept.
It could
it's
be
a good way to go forward with that.
It could be an accident in a video game and a 3D printer.
I like it. Oh, that sounds a little too familiar. Keith, have your lawyer on retainer. Right.
That's great.
But even I was just thinking back to even being like 12-year-old me being absolutely in love with Mortal Kombat when it came out.
Oh, of course.
And trying to create alternate versions of characters and trying to create my own characters and very poorly illustrating new characters in my notebook. And I think that that was probably like early signs of my comic creator shining through,
goodness. Right? I gotta tell you the story about Mortal Kombat though, because I remember Mortal Kombat used to scare the crap out of me. Just have
did it really?
Fans of that series around like the 3D era. So I think Deadly Alliance was the first Mortal Kombat game I ever saw them play. I remember Scorpion used to scare the crap out of me just because my cousin played it some of the most and knew how to do the fatality where he like threw a hook through someone's head and then like he pulled the hook out and it caused the whole guy's head to explode.
What do you think of Street Fighter? Is that like Mortal Kombat's like ugly cousin, or?
I think
like Street Fighter came first, didn't it?
Right? Did it come you haven't reversed, Harry? I think I would say Mortal Kombat is Street Fighter's ugly cousin because it was the more violent and graphic game, right? Whereas Street Fighter was a little bit more user friendly, a little bit more accessible.
Yeah, Street Fighter.
And then came Tekken and was like, hold my beer.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Street Fighter is pretty fun too. I always like maining Cammy in that game. Then you also had, I think, King of Fighters or Fatal Fury that was around too.
That's right.
And that was kind of like more slightly direct competitor to Street Fighter.
Or Samurai Showdown. That was another
I'm at that game too.
What was the one? Was it Primal? The one where you were dinosaurs?
Primal Rage.
Primal Rage. Yeah, that one was good too.
Remember
that one, Johnny?
I remember that one because it's
claymation.
Yeah, they used claymation to develop that.
Yeah, right.
So that was kind of fun. Killer Instinct, same idea.
Oh man,
yeah,
that game was
great
so
one too.
Saberwolf.
Yeah,
and again, these are all great properties that would be great. Like, I'd love to write a Killer Instinct comic book, like in this day and age. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What about Duck Hunt? Anybody? Oh, sorry.
Anyone? Duck Hunt?
But thanks. They also about Super Smash Brothers, and I think they added the dog from Duck Hunt as a playable character.
Oh,
where,
what about it?
Target attacks is like they have like a separate crossarm just like run through the screen and it hits like nearby opponents.
Oh, cool.
That's awesome. A couple good comments coming in.
Turn
Yeah,
Hogan's
let's go
Alley
for it.
into a comic.
Yeah, right. Dr. Mass said, yeah, Acclaim bought Valiant to mine it for video games, including Shadow Man, which they promptly threw out everything that came before and made up their own Shadow Man. I remember that. Wasn't that like it was a game, but it was like kind of like, I think all their games failed except for the Turok franchise, if I remember right. And I think they had, now that I'm thinking about it, they must have had Turok from Dell the way they had Solar and Magnus, the robot fighter, because those were all Dell comics as well. So they must have had all of those franchises, and then they redid Turok to be like the first person shooter game that it was. And they made like 3 or 4 of those, I think, right? Didn't
They did, yeah. And then I was actually also going to say is they made Exo Manowar too.
Yes, that's right. It was like, wasn't there a crossover with Iron Man? And I think they made a comic of that too.
They made a comic and a game specifically on that crossover.
Oh,
yes.
gosh,
So,
yeah.
do you remember that, Devin?
Oh, dang. Because I was actually, when you guys brought up Acclaim, I always heard about the Turok series, but I think the only game I ever really played was this game called Fix for PlayStation 2.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I wanted to try out as a kid, but
I remember that. Yeah. Good one. Acclaim, like they didn't own it for very long, and I think they probably just dropped it after that. And then I think Valiant went into hell for a few years until someone else bought it and brought it back. But also Heather R said that she liked the Wreck-It Ralph idea as well.
Oh yeah.
Brilliant. RJ, looks like you need to pursue that idea.
Patent pending.
The whole like connected city, and they just like go in and out of games.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So
go ahead, Johnny.
The realistic way. All right, I'm going to break this open right now because I'm a little bit intrigued. Right, RJ, if I were to, and again, I'm not an expert, but if I were to advise you in terms of bringing that idea to a reality, is approaching Disney not like, hey, make this a movie, but hey, can I license this as a comic series? And then go from there, because no doubt, I mean, look, Heather loves the idea. I am sure you can find $50,000 to $100,000 worth of people out there that would agree with you on an indie crowdsourcing platform where that would pay for the licensing fee.
Yes, let's license it. If you think it's $100,000,
well, no, I'm kind of paraphrasing. It's probably way more, but it can't be. It can't be expensive where it's like a movie.
Well, I thought licensing was only
producing
what 10%. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Johnny.
I was like, producing a comic, or if you were pitching it as a comic, it's a lot different than say, hey, I'm pitching this as a movie, right? So you could technically see what your licensing is for Disney comics and go from there.
Yeah, like I heard that. I thought
it's a separate division. It's not like, you know what I mean?
I thought licensing fees were like 10% of whatever you make or something, isn't it? Like,
I guess, but it depends on what the deal is, because I'm sure there's a flat rate you have to pay for, and then there's probably some type of percentage on the back end, but you're also bringing your work to life.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I never pursued a licensing thing, but
we've talked about it before, but it's, it seems insurmountable when in fact it's probably a lot easier if you look and do the right things.
And I'm only going on, from when I was at Alterna. Remember, Johnny, when I talked to you briefly about like when I was at New York Comic Con, some people had approached me about making toys for Mighty Mascots. And I had told Peter at the time, and he was telling me how like licensing kind of works and how it'd probably be about 10% of whatever they make on it, things like that. So, and I'm just going from him. So I don't know how it really works because I've never pursued that, but probably be something.
I still think it's a profitable venture for you if you had the heart to do it.
Well, with crowdfunding, you could build that 10% into the cost, and and then
The
figure
challenge would also be licensing the other characters from comics that you're trying to plug into it, because really that was what the gimmick of Wreck-It Ralph was. That you're taking other characters that they licensed, Disney licensed from Capcom and whoever, to put into the film, right? So it's the same thing.
It couldn't cost that much to license video game characters. They made pixels, for crying out loud.
Right, exactly. With Deadpool.
It probably could even get away with video games that the companies don't exist anymore, or
I think I remember seeing like the Wreck-It Ralph credits, like the Midway characters like Mortal Kombat and Tapper. They actually mentioned that they had to license those characters from Warner Brothers since they own those games now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, this is funny. Let me see. Just for everybody to see here.
What do we got?
There you go. Exo Manowar for the Sega Saturn.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I bet this game is worth some money now. With the way the retro market is, I bet this game is worth some money now.
Oh, for sure.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm already thinking of Fighters Make a Mix and Sonic R.
Yeah, right.
I can totally see a Mighty Mascots video game or movie or something.
Hey, I'm talking to somebody about
really
doing a video game.
That'd be cool.
A developer I met in Lowell, the last convention I went to, who's they're making their first game now, and I think it's coming out this spring for Steam. But he likes the Mighty Mascots. I gave him a set of the books last year. Nice. And he's like, and I said to him, if we do the game, you got to do like the X-Men 6-player game or the Turtles 4-player game. It's got to be a side scroller. You pick all the up to 4 people. It could be online. It could be multiplayer, and they all have their own powers and everything. And you just do the comics. Like the first level would be the supermarket, and you would just go through the supermarket, and then you'd fight Muckmouth at the end, and things like that. And I think it'd be awesome if we could get it right, and do all those animations and everything. It'd be cool. So I don't know. We're talking. We'll see if
special move.
Yeah, like you gotta have that special move when you build it up. Like I don't know, like when in the X-Men game, everyone had their special
ability
or whatever.
Yeah.
And I told him I want even with the X-Men game, I want like the bad sound bites, like Wendigo and like nothing moves a blob, all that kind of stuff,
right.
Yeah. I want all of that in there, So yeah, so he was open to it. He said those kind of games are kind of easy to make. So I'm like, yeah,
that'd be cool.
do it. I think people love those games where they just sit there and you bash buttons and go to the right the whole time, And,
I can't tell you how many times I've been playing Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. I think that's like the most current Ninja Turtles style game. That's kind of like the older games, and they upped it to 6 players.
Yeah, that's great stuff.
Like added it updates where they add like skins based on later Ninja Turtles cartoons as well as new characters.
Yeah. Well, even more modern games do that formula. Like Castle Crashers was an amazing game.
Man.
You play that game? I mean, that was that's updated the Turtles game. Like, yeah, it's so good. Like and it, people like that stuff. So I think it would work if they do it. So I'll keep you guys posted if that develops more than just us talking about it. But I hope so. I think
that's exciting, though.
It would be awesome, So, what'd you say, Harry?
I want to be a cameo in the movie when they make it.
I would hope. I just don't see it as a live action. I think it's more Destiny's animation, but you never know.
Yeah.
I'll do whatever. I don't care.
Right.
Anyone who wants to make it, hit me up.
See. Someone has a question here.
Yeah, let me see. We got a couple more comments.
Let's go for
it. My kid loves that movie plus comics, so win-win. I think we were talking about Turtles.
That was the Wreck-It Ralph idea.
Oh, Wreck-It Ralph. Yeah. Amy said it would be a great couch co-op or online multiplayer.
That's the Mighty
And
Mascots
Heather
game.
said a little off topic, but I have a question since you all were discussing video games and comics. I played Spyro on PlayStation. Did they ever make that a comic before the game? I don't think so. I don't remember ever seeing a Spyro comic. Do you guys?
No, I
I've
wouldn't
never
be
heard of
surprised
it.
if a comic wasn't made of Spyro post that, but
I don't think
Yeah,
so.
most
I mean,
I heard was I think one of the Crash Bandicoot games had a cheat code that plays a Spyro demo on the title screen.
oh,
oh,
cool.
okay. Spyro was a fun game. It was, I mean, it was just like one of those, gather up stuff and jump games, but it was kind of cool. I remember liking it. And Crash Bandicoot, I like that one as well. And what was the one where you were the raccoon thief? What was that? Sly Cooper. That was a good one too. I like that one.
I want to
Those
try
were
those
fun.
games.
Yeah, now Sly Cooper would make a good cartoon or movie too, as well. That would be
I
cool.
remember they were gonna do one like 10 years ago, but it got canceled.
Yeah, it's tough, especially. But let's get back to you guys in your comics and your projects. Like
We've tangented so far.
yeah, oh my god,
We're gonna bring it back in.
And I went this far without saying Conker's Bad Fur Day. So
Oh man, that
that's
game.
a great one.
I've been wanting to beat that game. I don't know how long. No,
Oh, that's a great one.
it is.
But
Man,
yeah,
especially Greg the Reaper.
yeah.
I get cats.
So good. Yeah, that one's ripe for an update for sure.
Mhm.
What was I going to say? So we'll start with Devin. Devin, so tell us a little bit about the comics that you make.
Okay, so I have 2 comic books right now. One is currently 2 issues called The Common Days of Cade. It's an all ages comedy series about a Grey Langer making the best out of the bad situations he's in. And then the second one was just a small short story I made called Detective Connie, which is kind of like The Spirit meets Wreck-It Ralph, the Fairly Odd Parents episode, Challenge Chasers, with a little bit of Foxy Brown sprinkled in.
Oh, okay.
So you got the page up for Cade.
Yeah. So now, how long have you been making this comic?
So I've been publishing it for about 2 years, but I would say I've been working with the character for a good 6 years because it
Okay.
originally started out as a small series of short comics I had at that comic book shop that was looking to publish and create her own comics. But then I left them and started self-publishing.
Okay. And it
I,
looks
I like the stories. The first comic was about the end of summer, kind of, and like
this
they had to
one
go
right
back
here.
to school. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I've also been making like occasional like 1-page gag comics for another anthology that's local to our town called The Good, the Bad, and the Sketchy, and that's where those first 2 comics are from.
Oh, okay.
That's cool. I love that
Very
title.
cool.
Devin, can you talk a little bit about moving to self-publishing? Because it sounds like I did something similar with Sartana. That was my first comic book where I was under a publisher, but I had to part ways and I had to really opt to self-publish. So I'd love to hear a little bit more about your decision or the circumstance rather to going that route.
So my circumstances was that I felt that my books was incompatible with the type of books that the publisher was going for, because I think they were going more towards like the 18, like I would say like the 16 to maybe like the 30-year-old market, while Cade was more of like just the all ages family friendly comic.
Right.
So that was one thing. And I also just remember feeling like my books was just undervalued by them. And I knew Cade had an audience out there, so I went towards that route. Got some advice from another person who left that same comic book shop like a year or so prior due to him having similar experiences as mine. And so he helped me go through like the basic things of getting through self-publishing to be able to get my first book out.
Okay.
Excellent.
And also, what is the origin of Diast Cartoons? Is that like a name that how did you come up with that name? Is it mean
It's
something?
an acronym, right?
So it originally started out as a YouTube name because I originally went by the alias of Pac Sponge, which was like a portmanteau of Pac-Man and SpongeBob, just like two of my favorite fictional characters.
Nice.
But then when I graduated high school, I just felt that name just didn't seem very professional enough. So I just went with the name Diast Cartoons, which is an acronym for Devin's Improving Art Studio Cartoon.
Oh, okay.
I like
I
that.
like that.
And
Yeah,
so
I like that.
it was just
too.
originally an online alias, but then when I got into self-publishing, I was like, hey, I still like this name. I'm just going to use it for the publishing name too.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I like the acronym too.
Yeah.
But yeah,
for
this
sure.
looks fun. So is the whole book like a series of strips, or is it like one long story, or is it both?
So I'm going more towards the episodic route. The first 2 issues is a 2-parted story.
Okay. Yeah, it looks good. It looks fun. And I got to tell you, like a lot of people, like this is, up in our neck of the woods. A lot of parents are looking for all ages comics, like
That's
I
for
hear that
sure.
all the time with my, when they talk to me about my book. Because I sell, not only do I sell Mighty Mascots, which is all ages, but I also have Swamp Tales, which is a collection of all my strips, like my 1-page gags too. And that one's like all ages. And so when people come over, they're like, oh, wow, you got a lot of, family friendly stuff. So there's definitely an audience for it. Just finding those people, Yeah, no, it looks good. It looks fun.
Yeah, for sure.
And they're very like kind of reminding me of like Seinfeld type stories because they're very basic, stories. Not basic in a bad way, but like the
Like-
kids like hate the end of summer. That's like it's
your basic themes is what you meant.
That's like
Right.
the most relatable story you can tell. And then I also got a little advertisement for the comics.
Yeah, but that's good though. When you can connect a theme or characters to an audience, which is the way, I mean, like Mighty Mascots, I connect with people with their nostalgia, with their, loving cereal and Saturday morning cartoons. It's kind of the same thing. But yeah, no, it looks good. So I definitely check out. I'm going to post this in the chat for Diast Cartoons.
I was going to ask Devin, how autobiographical is Cade? Like, there's got to be a little bit of Cade in you, right? Like, for you to create the character or what?
I'll say partially, but I don't like writing self inserts because I don't know. I just kind of feel like it's a bit of a pet peeve whenever people just have a character that's just completely themselves in it. Like, I like it when they put in like certain aspects of themselves into that character, but not when it's just like fully that person alone.
Yeah, it makes
Right on.
sense. And so is that the best place people can get your comic is from your website
Yes.
at this link? Okay, perfect. I shared that in the chat, everyone, if you want to check
I want to
that
say
out.
you scroll down on that page, there should be a follow more adventures, see more like click here for more adventures of Cade, and that links you to the shop to buy the book.
Gotcha. And I noticed you have like a YouTube. Yeah, we'll go over all those links too at the end of the show. If you want to share those to people if they want to follow you. I'm sure it's Diast Cartoons on most of those, right?
Yeah, so and then except for my Instagram where it's Devin Hodges _Diast Cartoons.
Gotcha. Johnny, what'd you
I
got?
was just going to say, RJ just shared something to the chat that is kind of fun in full circle because, Devin, you were asking about fan fiction previously, correct?
Yes.
And RJ actually uncovered a site that does fan fiction Spyro comics. There is literally everything out
Yeah, look at
there.
this.
Everyone. Everything's already been thought of.
Oh, that's so funny.
That's so wild.
That's wild.
Kind of like me more like the latter,
That's
like
so
Legends of
funny.
Spyro series. A little
What'd
bit.
you say?
Kind of reminds me of the Legends of Spyro series of games. So I think that was like when they tried to make like a slightly more darker tone Spyro.
Right.
It was like just
yeah,
trilogy.
oh, absolutely.
What's Detective Connie about? I didn't see that one. I didn't read about that one.
So that's currently a short story. I'm in the process of trying to get that turned into a full series. But it's like a combination of The Spirit, Wreck-It Ralph, Fairly Odd Parents, Challenge Chasers, and then a little bit of Foxy Brown thrown in. But it's a detective story about this woman who has been part of a detective agency that makes sure that fictional TV characters are on screen at the times they're supposed to be there, but they're missing. They have to go out and find them.
I like that.
Have you seen Pleasantville?
Excuse me?
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Have you seen Pleasantville?
Pleasantville?
No, Pleasantville.
I haven't.
You need to. It's
Great
got Tobey
movie.
Maguire in it and Reese Witherspoon, and it's about this guy who loves a television show so much, and he ends up getting sucked into an old black and white TV.
Wasn't John Ritter in that? Did a movie like that? Remote
Yeah, he
control.
did. It was,
Same
Stay
concept,
tuned.
but-
Stay
yeah,
tuned.
but Pleasantville is the same idea, though. I know exactly what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
except in the John Ritter one, he gets sucked into like it's all like hell-based stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Like,
Yes.
My Three Sons of Bitches and like Northern Overexposure. I remember that. Good stuff.
And they totally ruined the pureness of the show because the show was
The
so
glow in the
innocent.
dark.
Like it was Mayberry, you know?
Yeah, no, Pleasantville was a great movie. I should see that again. I like that movie a lot.
I really like that concept, though, Devin. It's basically a bounty hunter for missing TV characters, right? It's like the Noid never showed up to set to film the commercial, so they have to go find the Noid, and he's like on a pizza Domino's bender somewhere. Like, that's brilliant, 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 brilliant concept. Love that.
Good stuff. Yeah, so check that out. That's also at the link that we shared in the chat, which is for Devin's site in his store. So check that out.
So you can buy all your comics directly from you, Devin?
Yes.
Do you have them on anywhere else, like Global Comics or anything like that?
Excuse me?
Do you have it like anything? Do you have them on like Global Comics on the digital side or anything
Unfortunately,
like
I
that?
don't. Like both the physical and digital copies on my website at the moment.
Gotcha. So you're just selling them from there. That's cool. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. But I do highly recommend Global Comics. You can put them on that platform and set a price, so you can get paid through there too.
All right, I might look into that. Now I have like
Look into it. It's free and
all the time.
it's exactly.
Yeah.
It's free and you just gotta
Global
create your
Comic
own.
with an X at the end.
Yeah,
I've heard about that service.
Yeah, they've
stuff.
kind of blown up to the point where they're kind of dominating. I don't even think Comixology's around anymore, is it? Like it's almost dead.
It's folded
on
into
life
Amazon
support?
now. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's folded into Amazon now.
But yeah, no, RJ too. You haven't been on in a while, and I know last time you were talking about you were starting a fulfillment service, and how is that going, man?
It's lucrative.
Oh, is it really? No, it's
I
good
like
to
that.
hear. Like, are you
I
so?
like that.
It's been what, a couple of years since you've been on the show. So has your business? Are you just doing that now? Has that become your day job, or?
Oh no, my I've still got my day job. But
Okay.
This is the of the 3 jobs I have. This is the one that makes me the most money.
Really?
Yeah, it's a decent and basically it's just I go to people who have crowdfunders or they come to me and they're like, I'm going to do a book. How much is it going to cost me to ship this? I'm like, well, tell me what your weights are, and I give them information about what they should crowdfund for and what they should set their shipping rate at. They're like, how much does it cost me to do this? I'm like, nothing. How much does it cost me? No. How much does it cost me to use your service? I'm like, nothing. But how do you make money? Not from you. It's it's like, hey, here's what you're gonna sell. Here's how much it weighs. So here's the postage. Here's the bag and backer cost at cost. Here's the Gemini mailer at cost. Here's the tape. Here's the label. Here's the poly bag I put around it. Anything else that's special to package the thing up. Oh, and handling. That whenever they say shipping and handling, yeah, That's me. I'm handling.
Okay. So that's where you
handling
make your money?
That's where I make the money. And I'm like, with the handling added on, you're shipping this out for about $8.15, and you're going to charge $10. So you're not paying me anything. It's the shipping money doing what the shipping money is supposed to do, making things ship.
I like that.
It's just like Office Space. You just like
Yeah.
add on there. It's like-
That's one of the biggest challenges for running a Kickstarter is that fulfillment, making sure it's done in a timely fashion. It's so time consuming to have somebody do that for you. And if it's built into the cost and it really doesn't come out of your pocket, it's like what you said, the shipping cost of the campaign. That's a real great handy resource. I don't know why anybody wouldn't want to look into that.
The printer ships it directly to me. You tell the printer, hey, here's the money from the campaign to do the books, send them to Critical Blast, and then you hang up the phone and turn to your computer and you start making your next comic while fulfillment is happening.
That's great.
You guys do what you love.
Wow, that's awesome.
I get the books. I've got my day job. I'm a data scientist now. I've grown up. But I've been working with databases for over 35 years. So I wrote my own software to process the Kickstarter, the Indiegogo, the Fund My Comic stuff. I can merge it all together if you had campaigns on all three systems. And it condenses it down to single addresses. So, if Johnny orders a book off of all three platforms, or he orders it multiple times off any one platform, he's getting one package, one shipping cost to you.
Wow, look at
He hasn't
that.
paid me anything yet.
That's brilliant.
Dude,
And
that's awesome.
I also sort the items that they're getting. So, if Johnny says, hey, I want covers A, B, and C, and then Bill comes in and says, I want cover A. He comes in 2 weeks later and says, oh, you're about to close out. Give me covers B and C. He's got the same things. He ordered them differently, but because I'm condensing everything down to the same address, they're equal. So I give them a label. I was like, okay, you guys are all in the A1 group. Everybody in A1 ordered covers A, B, and C. So when the labels spit out, they're blind. It's like there's an address on it, but there's a little code that says A1. All the packages over here have been packed up, said, oh, this is an A1 package. Slap that label on there. Slap this label on here. It's assembly line.
Wow.
I can have untrained laborers.
Dude, that's awesome.
The logistic nightmare of having to bundle packages through and I went through when I did my fulfillment, I did it by tier. Okay, this is all the single issue tiers. Get that out of the way first. Okay, this is all the people who ordered mugs. You know what I mean? So the way you're doing it, RJ, that's awesome. That to get that off someone's plate is fantastic.
Well, that you always have.
Go
ahead, RJ. I was going to say.
I'm sure a lot of people get their spreadsheet and they just start with the first guy and they pack it up and they print a label and they package it up and they get the next guy, they package it up and they print a label. I print all the labels at one time and I have everything already prepackaged. So when the labels are printing, so here's the thing, the labels get printed from a spreadsheet. The spreadsheet's got all the address information in it. It's got all the cost information in it, and it's got the postage information in it. The postage is calculated by the weight of the package. Like, oh, here's an A1. A1 weighs 1 pound, 1 ounce. I put 1 pound, 1 ounce in the group tab of the spreadsheet, and it just trickles down to every A1 in the individual address list. So
I would think I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, at the end of the day, the total value, the line total is like, hey, the Gemini, this, the cost of postage handling, $8.12. That column gets added up. It's like, okay, well, your total shipping is $1,115. Here's your invoice. You pay me at that point. I take that money, I buy labels, and we're off to the races the next morning with the post office.
Wow.
Have you thought about selling your software to other companies? Because that's pretty efficient.
Nope.
What that?
Why would he do that? He's going to grow his
There's
empire.
only one other company that's out there doing it right now that I'm aware of, and they know we exist, and yet they deny we exist.
Interesting.
That means you're doing something right.
I think so, but it's
fun.
It's
that
and we've been able
software
to
is
combine that.
It's great too, because I have run into that where you get multiple people buying multiple things and you don't catch it, right away. Sometimes you catch it later and you end up shipping twice. And I was like, oh man, that would save so much if I could do it once, you know?
Yeah,
Well,
for
I
sure.
actually have a side sub business of this, and we do this for Mike Barron's books with Chris Brawley. He sends all his own books out, but he sends them out with the pack lists that I generate from his data. So
Wow,
he
really?
pays me a flat fee, and I take the data just like I'm going to be shipping it all out. I just skip all the stuff about costs and shipping costs. He just wants pack lists, like piece of cake. Run it through, kick him out, say, okay, here's a stack of documents. And it's like, oh, my A1 has this, this, and this, and I make 15 sets of it. My A2 has this and this, and I make 27 sets of it.
Wow.
I give him
And
that.
you don't mind doing all the packing and all that stuff either?
I don't mind doing it. In fact, I usually hire some people to take care of it if I have a really big project, and it's a piecework job. So it's not like an hourly job. They're independent contractors. Like you get 30 packages done in an hour, you made $30 an hour. You get 100 packages done in an hour, you made $100 an hour.
So you charge them like $1 a package kind of thing?
Yeah. Yeah. If you got one package done and smoked for an hour, you made $1.
Yeah, or just fucked around on your phone for an hour or whatever. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
I don't care what you do. So I care about what you produce.
It's incentive-based working. Absolutely.
Oh man,
RJ, that's awesome.
My son stayed July with me, came to visit, and it came just as I was getting that Umbrella Guy's last project. It just ended. He sat at that little table over there in the kitchen 2 days of the month and cranked out $800 worth of work. I'm like, well spent money. Here you go.
Here you go, kid. You earned it.
That's great.
Don't spend it in one place.
Yeah, right.
We went to the bank. Dude. I got him hundreds, and he just held his hand out. He's 17. He wanted a mini bike, and he saw an opportunity. So.
Like a game show.
So, like, I'm pretty good with my fulfillment. Like, I don't kill myself doing it, but I also make sure I set a time and I, do a certain amount of packages a week, that kind of thing. So and I have a whole setup down here as well. Like after I did my first mascots campaign, I bought everything I needed, like label makers and, boxes, everything. So I'm pretty good with my fulfillment. But like if someone wanted to use you for a service, do they reach out before they start the campaign, or how does that work?
They reach out at any time, but if they reach out before, we can make sure that you don't lose money or try our best. But even that's not guaranteed. I've had people reach out to me before and then, trying to fulfill. They're like, why is it costing so much more than the estimate? I'm like, well, because your campaign started 3 years ago and the post office keeps raising rates every year.
Does
so that doesn't count.
Right. Now, how do you handle a situation where, say it's like a bunch of items and they don't quite know what the weight is? Do you like kind of have a backup plan for that?
I guess. I mean, you know what your book is, and you know how much it's going to weigh.
Yeah.
22-page book. Your typical 22 to 26 page book is going to weigh 11 ounces because your Gemini in a bag with a label on it and a bag and a board that weighs 5.5 ounces. Packaging has weight. Don't ever forget that. Just because you think, hey, my book weighs less than a pound, it should cost this. Well, once you put it in something, it may weigh more.
Yeah.
So we take that and we say, okay, well, we have a book weight calculator. We know the dimensions of your book and the pages of your book and the page weight you're using. We can come pretty close to what your book is going to weigh. We add the packaging on top of it. We're like, okay, well, this tier will weigh this much. This tier will weigh this much. But you can't assume the infinite permutations that'll exist because people will, buy one of these, and then there's add-ons.
Yeah, so, right. That screws everything up. Yeah.
So I told you how I label packages. They're blind labels. This is A1, A2, A3. So the software says, okay, we're going to do 26 of those. We'll do A1 through A26, and then we'll kick over to B, the B1 through B26, and then C1 through C26. I don't know why 26. It just is what I did.
Right.
I've had campaigns where I'm down in group N, and they only had like 5 variant covers. But because of the permutations that people were picking up, there were all these unique packages. And, the last 100 of them are all so unique that there's groups of 1. I'm the only guy who ordered what I ordered.
Yeah, right. And all the add-ons and everything.
And there's no way you can say, hey, if somebody orders 150 books, then your postage is going to be this. You just wag it. But if somebody ordered 150 books, you can probably afford the postage for it.
Yeah. Right. No, it's fascinating. Like, I love how you thought this through and how you figured it all out. It's like really kind of cool.
And now we've merged it with with
other
business.
Yeah, it's really, really fascinating. Johnny, do you have a question about it?
I was just going to ask if Devin, have you run a campaign yet before or in the
I
past?
haven't. I don't think I have.
Have you thought about it
right now for a campaign?
What's that, Devin?
Yeah, I don't think I have the demand for a campaign right now.
Have you thought about doing one though?
I remember when I was first publishing Cade, I had some people suggest making a Kickstarter, but I feel like not that many people were going to like donate to it, except for like probably close family members. So I just ended up self-funding.
Gotcha.
Never be surprised though. You might put it out there and you might find more audience on Kickstarter or something like that. So I'd say don't sell yourself short on that one.
It's how you meet the new readers.
There you go. RJ, saw you reaching for something there.
Yeah, I was. I got a couple of things actually, but we've done campaigns now where we not only fulfilled it, but we were the publishers.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you that too. You said you're starting to publish books too.
Yeah, so we're
publishing
doing
comics and books too. Like
we've been publishing books for 5 years, anthologies.
Now is it all under the Critical Blast banner?
It is. Okay. It is. We've got our own bookstore. We can sell them direct, but all of our books are in the Ingram catalog. So that's the catalog of record for any bookstore. If you go in and say, "Hey, will you buy my book?" They're like, "What's the ISBN and is it in the Ingram catalog?" If it's in the book, they can get it. But like Nano 13, this was a floppy, so we can publish floppies now. The only thing we can't do is glossy paper and staples. Everything is perfect bound and everything is color 70 or higher. So,
oh wow! Okay.
No complaints so far, but this is for like new projects. This is one of the newer things we've been doing because people now know that we do it, and we can give them print samples so they see what the quality is. But,
so if I wanted to print like a Mighty Mascots through you would quote me on how much it would be with paper and all that stuff and
paper and size. Of course, what I would do with Mighty Mascots is I would go to you and say, Keith, what do you do with Mighty Mascots 1 through 6? Would you like to maybe collect it into a hardcover edition like Monster MD?
Oh, so you do hardcovers. Interesting.
Yes.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
This is currently on Indiegogo right now, funding for Von Klaus. This is cool. all of the Monster MD appearances. This has got all the backup material, extra art. And we did it in a hardcover. We did it in a comic book dimension paperback. This is an 8.5 by 11 hardcover.
Oh wow!
We did it in manga. So
oh wow! Look at that.
Wow.
Cool.
Look at it. We even did an A4 sized black and white version.
Wow!
We took the original artwork and we grayscaled it down. And my business partner George Peter Gatsis went through and made it all pretty in black and white, just like a classic monster movie.
Yeah, I kind of like the monochrome, the black and white.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. It's really sharp. I am thinking about hardcover, but I think I want to do it when I have. I'd rather do like a big omnibus thing.
Big omnibus, you say?
Yeah. What do you got?
Wait a minute.
From the 80s.
That was like the word of the day.
Yeah. Right.
Yes. It's like scream real loud. We've been reaching back to people who were in the 1980s making independent comic books, like the guys who did the extraterrestrial time-traveling thieves here.
Okay.
In the late 80s. This was, 300
that's a big book.
Black and white goodness. We did this again in the 8.5 by 11, the regular size and the manga. It's what we do. We release all three at the same time.
You should reach out to Boris the Bear. Get those. That'd be awesome. People would
We're
love
trying.
That.
This is Henry Vogel's that he liked this so much that he's kept us busy this last month doing an 1,150 page hardcover of Southern Nights. So we're going to be
remember that one. Yeah.
We're putting those out. In fact, Okay, so it was like it was the almost complete Southern Nights. The last 2 issues of the book were a crossover with Heroic Publishing's Flair and League of Champions. He's like, we can't put those in there because we don't have the rights to it.
Yeah.
So what did we do? We reached out to Dennis Maloney at Heroic Publishing. It's like, hey, what can we do? So now Dennis is going to publish the Morrigan Wars collected in a trade paperback, which had the Southern Nights, and so are we. The whole kit and caboodle, and they're going to have interlocking covers. And I talked with Dennis on his stream. It got an interview with it, and after the interview, he's like, he came out and said, "Wait a second, you said you do hardcovers?" So we're doing a hardcover omnibus series of Flair, their flagship character, Flair, the Flair hardcover archives. So one thing just leads to another, and it keeps on rolling.
That's awesome.
It's
great
fun.
idea too to go back to like old indie stuff that was loved at the time, but now has kind of been forgotten. And bringing it back. Yeah, no one's doing anything with it.
We're in talks with William Messner Loebs. We're doing Journey.
Okay.
And we're even getting the Jim Valentino slices of Normal Man in there.
Oh, wow.
Crossover with it. So he's given his blessing for us to put that in. We're going to try to actually finish it because after the first Journey series, he did a mini series called War Drums, which was supposed to be 6 issues long, but it got canceled after 2. So we're going to talk to Bill and see what we can do about finishing that out. If he's got, available artwork that can be finished, or if we want to do it as a prose story, but we'll get the thing finished.
Oh, cool. That's awesome. And what about, it'd be a good one too? Elementals, like that by,
Elementals, you say?
Oh, no.
Wait,
Are you working on?
There's more.
And that was way out of left field.
So we did an anthology last couple of months ago. Oh, it's longer than that. But
Bill Willingham, that's who it was. I was blanking on his name. Yeah.
Yes, we did an anthology called The Fables Next Door.
Okay.
And Bill Willingham did a story in that book for us. Bill and Alan Dean Foster were our flagship authors for that book. Alan did something back in the 70s called Star Wars. A lot of people saw it. So he sends us this story. It's got a subtitle like a Black Tower story, and we're like, "What is this? A Black Tower story?" He's like, "Well, this is a series of shorts that I was thinking about doing something with," and I was like, "With who?" He's like, "You want them?" So he's busy working on those, and we're going to be publishing Bill Willingham's Fables, but not the Fables. It's a totally new Fables world that he's doing, and it's going to be prose short stories.
That's great. That's awesome. Yeah, so I was going to say Bill Willingham, for everyone out there that doesn't know, he's the guy that did Fables for Vertigo, and for video games, he did the Wolf Among Us games for Telltale, which are part of the Fables world.
We tried to get Elementals, but apparently
is it locked in?
Fables, it's sliced up more than Miracle Man.
Is it really? Okay. Yeah, actually, you know what? I do get his newsletter once in a while. I think I remember him talking about that. Now, where did he land with the DC? Because I remember he was fighting with DC about Fables, and he had made the Fables. He declared that it should be public domain, but the DC lawyers were like, no. So what's that? So what happened there? Did they
are Fables. Go ahead and do a Cinderella story and see what no one's going to stop you. That's
right.
Characters in the first place.
Oh yeah.
But
but what if he said to do his Cinderella? Because his Cinderella was like he made her like the spy kind of chick.
Yeah.
And
well, it's his character. He said he owns it. He said it's public domain. DC said we dare you.
Okay.
And as far as I can tell, nobody has taken them up on challenging them. Remember, DC had no legal contest over Captain Marvel, but they won the fight because they outlawyered Fawcett Comics right into bankruptcy.
Yeah.
So nobody wants that to happen to them over Cinderella.
Yeah, so I mean, he could take his chance.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool that you got Willingham to do something with you. So my other question would be this: so, how are your prices compared to, like, say, when you print with somebody like Comics Wellspring, like are you
I don't know.
comparable? Are you
I don't go out and price compare myself to other people. People just come say, hey, how much for a 64-page book, color 70, glossy cover? And I come back and I say, well, if you order, one of them, it's this. If you order 100 of them, it's this. Because, the shipping and tax gets built onto that. And I want to be very upfront about, what your per unit cost is. And they either say, that's really good, or I can do better. When they say that's really good, you end up printing.
okay.
How do they find you? How do you
I'd have
advertise?
to price compare that with you and see.
Word of mouth.
Yeah, word of mouth.
Word of mouth is where it mostly is.
And you do floppy comics and full hardcover and paperbacks, huh?
Yeah, we not only do we floppy comics and full paperbacks, we do
Pop-up books.
hardcover floppies.
Oh my god! Look at that.
Thin hardcovers, huh?
Wow.
Very
Now,
thin hardcover.
Can you do the foil embossed covers and all that
No.
stuff too?
No.
Okay.
The printer is a mass market book printer. They're not a specialty printer, so we don't
gotcha.
we can't.
So
get
that's why you
slick
can't do the
covers.
glossy paper, things like that,
Yeah.
right?
And even the floppies that we do print, the covers are
they're
stiff
like hard card
paperback.
stock. Was that like a 70-pound, or is that like more like
Probably.
probably
more like 100-pound because the pages were
100
70 pounds.
Okay, so it's probably about 110 or something. Okay, that's interesting. I'll have to think about that when I do, especially the hardcover. I have been thinking about doing an omnibus, but I was kind of waiting until I had like 15 issues or 12 or something like that.
Here's the thing about it, Keith. When you do the hardcover, don't limit yourself to just the crowdfunder. When Dave Brink did Perfect 10 with us, we did the Perfect 10 Artist Edition. We did a hardcover, and it's across the room, or I go get it. What we did was we did it with a white cover.
Okay.
A white background cover with some tracing lines of the panels and such. We have a design that really works. And we crowdfunded that as a signed edition as well as a limited edition version. So we had stickers, sticker plates that Power Rodricks had signed and sent back to us. So when it was a signed edition book, we put the sticker in there, and they got their signed book. But afterward, after the campaign was over, we uploaded a different cover, gave it a black background, turned on the distribution flag, and now you can buy that book on Amazon. Now you can buy that book at Barnes & Noble. Now you can buy that book at Powell's and Books A Million. So people will be able to get Mighty Mascots at all those places. A lot of the times you find it on Walmart.com eventually. I used to say Walmart all the time, and then I started seeing, they didn't pick that one up, but they did pick this one up. I better not be promising Walmart all the time.
Right. Wow. No kidding. That's something to think about. Yeah, like that's awesome. Yeah. Give me some stuff to think about, RJ.
Well, it's doing the counter to what the standard is for indie comics, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of what it sets you apart, Keith. It's kind of, I think, aligning with you doing a street fair over a Comic-Con, right? It's a little bit of a different approach to doing the same thing, where you're hoping for different results,
But like RJ cares about this industry, so that's why, when you print with somebody, you kind of want somebody that gives a shit, I guess.
That's how I get the fulfillment thing. Was like, hey, I know how to handle comics. I know how important they are to the people getting them. I've had what I do,
and you're a fan too. So
I'm a fan. So somebody compared what we do with the fulfillment and with the publishing to the gold rush, where basically all the people with campaigns or the prospectors going out there looking for gold with their products, and I'm the guy selling pickaxes.
I like that.
I like it. That's great.
Who needs to sift your pan?
Yeah,
exactly.
Pickaxes, come get your pickaxes.
Yeah, right.
Now, we talked about all the graphic novel stuff that we're doing, but we also do, anthology books. We do horror anthologies. We've done The Devil You Know, The Devil You Know Better, The Devil You Know Best, 3 years worth. We had Mike Barron and Hart Fisher in those books. We've done The Monsters Next Door and The Fables Next Door. We're going to do The Aliens Next Door. We started with Gods and Services 5 years ago. That was our first anthology. We're doing Gods and Services, new location right now. I just have to finish writing the framework story because that's how that one works. But we also do, individual novels and individual children's books, some of which I even write because I'm a writer too.
Look at that. That's a great segue.
Say we forgot to cover that part of it as well.
Yeah, right. What a great segue. You tell this guy does YouTube. So speaking of which, we have A Night Before Christmas, which I love. I love the name, RJ. First of all, show that up there.
Where was this published?
It's right now. It's published in the United States, all over the world. And the artist on this is Krista Erickson. She did all the illustrations inside. You may not know Krista Erickson, but Keith, I guarantee you know her mom and her stepdad because they make the Great Cyclopean.
Oh, okay, yeah. Hero Shack.
Hero Shack.
Yeah. So, okay. Oh, nice.
Yeah, nice work.
This is of all the things I've written. I keep saying this. This is my favorite story. This is the one that put a lump in my throat when I finally finished it because I thought it was finished, and I woke up at 3 a.m. I'm like, oh my God, no, it's not done. And I had to get up and finish writing the twist ending to it that it needed to have. But basically, A Night Before Christmas is young Clarence who lives in Camelot, in the stable behind the castle. It's where he's been all his life. He takes care of the horses and he sleeps in the hay. And he's got it in him, this dream that he wants to become a knight. And he knows what the rules of chivalry are. He carries, them written down on a piece of paper in his tunic all the time. And he, tells the horse, who's his only friend, I could do any of these things. I could do all of them. So he sets out in October to become a knight. And he says, I'm going to do it before Christmas gets here. That's going to be my present to myself. I'll be eligible for knighthood. So he takes the horse. He goes into the armory next door. He gets a sword and a shield and a banner. And he sets off on a quest to fulfill any one of the codes of chivalry to show that he's got the right stuff. And as he's out traveling on his way, he encounters one situation after another that cause him to sacrifice all of the things he brought with him that he needs to achieve his dream. Until he's finally bereft of nothing, doesn't even have the horse, and he walks back to Camelot on foot with nothing at all to show for it. And he arrives back on Christmas Eve. And just climbs up into the hayloft and tries to cry himself to sleep. And that's when the messenger from the king bursts in and, yells his name, said, "King wants to see you." And it turns out that all these things he's done that have cost him, the sword and the shield and the banner and the horse, his misuse of them, the damage that was done to them, the callous giving away of it has gotten to the king. And he's pretty sure that it's all over for him. But things aren't quite what they seem.
So where did this story come from? Like, how did you think of this?
I have no idea.
It's a great idea.
It was an Athena. It like popped up fully formed in my head, except for the part where it wasn't fully formed. And I can't tell you what part wasn't fully formed until you've read it. But let me just say it's a story of self-sacrifice. It's a story of giving of yourself. And it has, a true Christmas Christian bend at the end of it there. The reason for the season is all brought back to fore on this. And
I love the name, like the way he did the play on the name too, like A Night Before.
And that's not original. Apparently there's like 50,000 books on Amazon that
are there really? Wow.
I'm a big fan of
landwords. Like the trademarks.
Yeah, right.
Well, you can't trademark a title. A book title. You can't copyright a book title.
I feel like yours actually delivers on the premise of the title,
It does. And I like I said, I love this book. I wrote it over 20 years ago and I had no outlet for it. The only other publication of this that existed was a chapbook that I did for a company Christmas party that I went to, and we were all doing Christmas things at it. And I read a portion of it. But there was a copy at every table and people were taking it home. And I heard back from people who were parents that their children, loved it and wanted it read to them over and over. So
wow, okay. That's cool. Yeah, you got a hit on your hands there. That's awesome.
I hope so. You you've got the access to the trailer there. If you want to play it, fine.
Yeah.
It's 3 minutes.
Let's
long,
roll it.
so,
How long is it?
it's like 3 minutes long. It's a full length song.
Oh, okay. What do you guys think? Should we play it?
I say roll it.
I don't mind.
All right.
Clearing streams in stables cold and gray, shadows dance while horses softly neigh. He tells the creatures in the barn each night that one day he'll wear armor shining bright. From dawn to dusk he works with honest hand, feeding mares and working on the land. But he has his heart set on the table round to join the knights who bravely serve the crown. With a sword and shield he'll join the fight, prove his worth before it's Christmas night. He'll show them all as he sets out on his quest, a gift to himself a night before Christmas. With a sword and shield he'll join the fight, prove his worth before it's Christmas night. He'll show them all as he sets out on his quest, a gift to himself a night before Christmas. But chivalry demands self-sacrifice, and when folks need help, this boy does not think twice. He meets the need, though it cost him his dream. But maybe things are more than they seem. With a sword and shield he'll join the fight, prove his worth before it's Christmas night. He'll show them all as he sets out on his quest, a gift to himself a night before Christmas.
Awesome.
Now, I don't know how he lost the horse during the story, but maybe a perfect sequel would be if the horse had died somehow in the cold of the winter or whatever, and it came back as the nightmare before Christmas.
Well,
Right?
actually,
So
the horse ends up in a bog, and he's like trying to pull the horse out of the bog, and it's just his head sticking up out of it.
I was gonna say, pray you no.
Yeah, he loses the horse, but slight spoiler: the horse makes it home before he does, and that's how he
all right.
realized
Forget
he was in
that
trouble.
sequel then. All right.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say that was very well produced, RJ. Did how'd you go about getting that made? Is that something you made yourself, or
With a lot of help. I mean, I wrote the lyrics for the song, then we got the song produced, and then George Peter Gatsis took the illustrations out of the book and matched it up with the music and did all the animation.
Oh, nice. That's
People
great.
underestimate
Came out
George's
good.
capabilities.
Yeah, like that song, I think like if you ever decided to like adapt to a short film or something like that, that song would be perfect to play in the credits.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was like, thinking of the old Rankin Bass Christmas specials when I was composing it. So.
I got that vibe.
I know, right?
Yeah, definitely felt like that.
I don't know.
I'm glad the horse made it.
I'm thinking
The
about
horse's name is Penfold.
Right now.
What is it?
What's his name?
The horse's
Oh,
name is
he will.
Penfold,
He
and I have
is
no
no
reason
miser.
why it's Penfold.
Mhm.
That's awesome. So now,
Other than it was Danger Mouse.
so I assume the places to get this would be Critical Blast, and then also is it available with Ingram? So it would be Barnes and Noble, Walmart.
You can get
Books
it
A
in any
Million.
bookstore. But here's a little tip. Any of the
Okay.
graphic novels or any of the books are always going to be available in our bookstore. And two things will happen there. One, you'll get it cheaper than you will in a retail chain because we don't have to, cut the deal with Amazon for their percentage of the retail cost. And two, because we do that, the books that we do for other creators, like Henry Vogel, like we have a bunch of Wayne Klingman does all the true crime books. They get a bigger payout.
So if they buy it through you, the payout is bigger. Okay.
Right.
For
so,
the
all our
creators.
creators get the same link. They can put it on their webpage. It still buys direct from Ingram that way, and they ship it. That's the other thing. You're buying from Amazon. You don't have to maintain inventory of your hardcover. Let Amazon ship it for you. Let Barnes & Noble ship it for you. It's not like they take an order and send it to you and you fulfill. It's like every other book.
Yeah, that's true. No, that's good. I like that. Idea. So awesome. So check that out. That's on criticalblast.com. Yeah, no, fellas, thanks for this is great. Like I like both your projects, and it was nice. So this is a point where you guys can either stay with us because we're gonna move into our Kickstarter or our crowdfunding recommend section, and then our self-promotion section. Or if you guys got to go, you can jump off the show at this point. It's up to you. We don't mind if you hang out. We don't mind either way, basically, So leave it up to you.
Have to pack books because, hey, crowdfunder business.
Yeah.
but I will say that, this is currently funding on Indiegogo. So Monster ND,
awesome.
The full dose. That's my recommendation. And thank you guys for having me on.
Yeah, RJ, definitely.
Thanks for coming
I'd
on
love
again.
to connect with
Nice
you
meeting you.
too. Maybe on Twitter or something about like licensing and stuff. Me and Johnny have been thinking about doing some kind of licensing with some kind of project with a licensed property or something. So I'll have to connect with you and talk about that.
Yeah,
It'd be interesting. Like there's some things that I think would make great comics. Like old horror movies and things like that, and I don't know, maybe old pulp characters and things. I don't know. So
I love the old pulp characters. There's a book coming out. Yeah, there's a book coming out from Fund My Comic through Arrow, Out of Obscurity, and it was nothing but short stories of public domain superhero characters. And I have a story in it. I'm just waiting for the book to come out now. I chose The Clock.
Okay.
So if you're not familiar with The Clock, you'll be introduced to him here.
Yeah, I'll have to look him up. I'm not familiar with that character. Sounds intriguing.
Yeah, I'm not familiar.
Speaking of clocks, do you know the clock in England, London, whatever, Big Ben? Big Ben isn't actually. Yeah, Big Ben isn't actually the clock. It's the bell. That's Big Ben.
Look, kids, Parliament, Big Ben.
Yeah,
yeah. It's real. I mean, I just learned. I mean, forget what the clock is actually called. It's called like I forget it has a name to it. The clock has a name, but it's not Big Ben. It's the bell is Big Ben. Isn't that kind of who knew? Who knew?
Interesting. Yeah.
I did not know.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah. So RJ, good to see you again, man. And I may hit you up about a hardcover soon, so
Be happy to help you out with it.
All right, cool, man.
Proud. Thanks,
All right,
guys.
cool.
See you later.
Yeah, good to see you again. And Devin, did you want to stick around too, or did you want to stick around, Devin, or did you?
Sure, I will. That was like one Kickstarter I wanted to recommend.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Sure.
Yeah. So
awesome, dude. That's great.
Let's move into that segment here, and then we'll go from there. Awesome. Well, since you're our guest, Devin, why don't you go first on this one? I'm going to share the screen here. This is the one that you sent me, Project Wildfire. Tell us a little bit about this one that you want and why you're recommending it.
Okay, so Project Wildfire is a superhero comic created by my friend Quinn McGowan. It's a series about this superhero named Wildfire who fights kaijus, but he was getting tired of fighting kaijus and wanted to start fighting like larger threats. And so my friend Quinn is trying to get a whole trade done because he already has issues 1 and 2 out as floppies.
Okay. I like the artwork. The character looks cool too.
That's cool. Yeah, I like that cover of there. Yeah, that looks awesome.
Which one? This one?
Oh,
This
that was,
image?
Yeah,
like
that's
by-
cool
That's
right
really
there.
good.
I think the guy's name was Nicholas. I keep forgetting his last name, but I know he also does work with DC and Milestone.
Oh, okay.
The Shock reboot, and I really like his artwork in that series as well.
Great idea too, like the superhero versus kaiju. Love that idea. Yeah, it looks like he already funded on this, huh? Which is good. So
Yeah.
but I bet a lot of people be interested in this book. Is it still going? Let me see if let me look up here. Oh, okay. Looks like it might be over.
Yeah, it looks like it finished, but you can probably get it from that link right there, right?
Yeah. No, it keeps
Like
going.
the link to his website.
Yeah, no, it keeps going to Kickstarter, so the link must be wrong. But maybe that's his
That's his
actual
website.
Okay.
Legends.com.
Perfect. But yeah, no, it looks good. It looks interesting. Looks, and it's like graphic novel. I see. Okay, so it collects a bunch of issues for 25. That's not bad. Yeah, no, it looks good to me. Anything else you wanted to say about it before we?
I think he had a trailer in there.
Do you know how long it is? I'm always a little worried. All right, let me try it, and if it's too long, we can bail on it.
No, let's go for it.
Yeah, let's try it. All right, hang on. Oh, it's like one of the ones where they just talk to you. Yeah, no, I'm gonna bail on this one. If it was just like the comic trailer, I would play it.
Okay.
But if it's them just talking about the book for 2 minutes, I'd rather not. But yeah, no, it looks cool. It looks I think everyone should check it out. It was a superheroes against kaiju, so you can't get much better than that.
I love that concept. Yeah, it's definitely one to it's like waiting for a movie adaptation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
I'm not sure if he actually released the full trade. I know like the first two are in floppy. Right now, I think it's like the only book sold right now. So I gotta like wait to hear back and see how the production of the trade is going.
Gotcha. Looks cool
This
though.
looks like a really cool project.
It does. These are the original covers then.
Yes, they are.
Project Turret. Yeah,
I love that.
Looks
Look
like a
at
good
that.
book.
That's really cool. Whoops.
Look at this, a video game.
Video game style pinup.
My camera
Johnny,
went
okay?
down. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. My camera went down.
What happened, Johnny? I was
My
looking at
camera went down.
Oh, did it? You all right?
Yeah, no, I'm good. Didn't move. My camera did.
Awesome. All right, yeah, that looks good, Devin. That's a good recommendation. So if anyone wants to check that out, I'll share the link in the chat here. Oh, Amy already did. So thanks, Amy. But any of you guys want to go, or I have mine ready if
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I can set up.
There, go for it.
Mine's pretty. I gotta like log in. I mean, or set the thing up here.
All right. So while you're doing that, I'll share mine. Mine once again is going to be the Thunder Soars. This is by Glasshouse Graphics. It's the company that I've been working for doing some lettering on, and I didn't do any lettering on this particular project, but I did help lay out some of the files, because some of the files, the lettering and shift on. What's that, Devin?
I'm already liking the art style.
Yeah, isn't that art style kind of cool?
Like 90s to early 2000s.
Yeah, exactly. So it's about a family of scientists that an accident happens and they're sucked into a time portal.
It's always an accident.
It's always an accident. And they end up in the past, and it's all these like sentient dinosaurs that there's good ones and bad ones, and they get the sexy sister, and they all basically fighting for their life in the past.
Wait, a sexy dinosaur?
No, sexy sister.
Oh, okay.
she's one of the characters, like right there. But yeah, it's a fun book. It has like a YA kind of look to it. I think I'd say it's an all ages, even though it has a little bit of curves to it. The story is pretty much YA and all ages, but not that dumb YA. It's more like a good all ages book. But yeah, no, I just did a little bit of pre-press kind of work on this, but I got to read through the whole thing, and it's pretty fun, like especially like that page. And they fund it on Kickstarter, but they could always use a little more, of course, those kind of things. And David Campetti is the guy. This is the guy that's the head of Glass House that is the writer on it. And then I love this cover. So it's a good book. I would recommend it if you're looking for more all ages books for your kids or even for Christmas. I think this will be out by Christmas.
Oh, but they have a lunchbox too.
Yeah, they have a lunchbox.
The lunchbox is pretty cool.
The book's done. It just needs to be printed, basically. So, all the colors, all the lettering, everything else is done. So it's ready to go. And then we get these sexy add-ons, I guess. But yeah, no, and I think you can get all their other books in here as well, like the one that they were on promoting with Mike Deodato and stuff like that. This is the one I did letter, Skyclad. That one is, I think, almost done. I think that one's ready to print too. So
cool.
So he put everything on here. So, and this is the Mike Deodato book. This is the book they were on promoting a handful of months ago.
That
so
one. Yeah.
Did you back it? Did you get it yet, Johnny?
It could be in the stack over here.
Okay. But yeah, so they put their whole library on there. So if you missed something from Glasshouse Studios that you want to grab, it's on this campaign. And Dave's going to come on, I think, in early December to promote his next Kickstarter, which is really fun, which I told you about, Johnny, which is the rack. So
that's correct.
That'll be cool to talk to him about that.
Yep.
But yeah, no, so this looks cool. So if you guys are looking for an all ages book, check out Thunder Stores. Amy just put it in the chat for everybody to check out. And that is my recommendation this week.
While I was getting ready for this show tonight, I don't know why, I was taking notes down like prior to the show, and like for some reason I don't know why dinosaurs got stuck in my head, but
why one got stuck in your head?
Dinosaurs, but one in particular,
okay.
the plesiosaur,
the puppet-based show.
The
puppet show.
I don't know.
Like,
not sure.
I don't know the show Dinosaur. Or
not the show. I don't know. It's like randomly dinosaurs popped in my head for some reason. I don't know why. Because maybe my nephew likes dinosaurs. I don't know. But the one in particular that got stuck in my head is the plesiosaur, which is what the Loch Ness monster should be, or is supposedly what it is. So plesiosaur. So a name of a funny or story could be easy to please plesiosaur. I mean, I don't know why I thought of that. I just wrote it down. Like my brain works in like I don't know. I can't. That's why
you can't not pun. It's always be punning.
There's always an idea. Punning. I don't know why how my brain works weirdly. I don't know where that came from, but
do you have yours ready, Harry, or should I go to Johnny?
No, I can share right now. So let's see if here's mine. You can see it.
Oh yeah, I saw that one earlier.
I liked it because
this is Daniel Calvin.
Is it on?
Do you know him, Johnny? I've heard the name.
I'm pretty sure it's. I think this is Daniel's book. Where's the creator?
I like the. Where are we? It's on.
Run the trailer. It's only a minute.
Okay.
Is it?
All right. Actually, I don't know if I can. My audio isn't. That's why I was asking you earlier. How do I make it go
okay.
through?
No worries.
No Johnny, he's showing us, so I'd have to pull it.
Yeah. No worries. I sent you my link, Keith, so you can.
I got it. That. Yeah. Yep. Got
it. Interesting. I think this is Daniel Calvin. He's a friend of ours.
Mike Barron.
Oh no, it's not. It's Mike Barron. Never mind.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
Mike
Mike Baron.
Baron. Wow.
Yeah,
Mike
Daniel
Baron
Calvin
doing
has
Sherlock
a
Holmes?
Sherlock book as well, so that's why I think I was confusing the two.
I love the artwork and the concept. It's like basically Sherlock Holmes meets up with Captain Nemo to solve a series of shipping disasters and missing ships.
That sounds cool.
And Sherlock Holmes boards Nemo's submarine called the Nautilus, and they come out. I guess ships go missing, and they come across a survivor, and the survivor tells them that this ocean metallic sea monster is eating all these ships up. So it involves mystery and with a dash of conspiracy and global conflict. So, I don't know what else.
Okay.
Yeah, I love the artwork though. Like, look if you scroll down here.
Yeah, it looks good. And Mike Baron's a pretty good writer. I've read some stuff by him. I like it.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of like Sherlock Holmes. So any Sherlock
him doing
Holmes
Sherlock Holmes is kind of fun. Like,
Wait, hold on. Was Captain Nemo from like 2000 Leagues Under the Sea?
Yeah, that guy.
Yes, that's the one.
Yep. So this is a collaboration between Sherlock and Watson, and
it's almost like an extension of League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. In a lot of ways.
That way, right?
Yeah.
I think they are public domain, so you just do whatever you want with those.
Yeah, exactly. Like I think Sherlock Holmes is pretty much all in now on public domain.
Except for a little portion of his history is still off limits.
Okay. But you can do pretty much all, right?
Just about all except for Sherlock Holmes being jovial. Like you can write him as being the curmudgeon that he was kind of known for originally, but near the end of Arthur Conan Doyle's original run, he wrote Holmes more jovial, a little less rough around the edges, and in turn, that version of Holmes is still under copyright, but everything else is up for games.
Gotcha.
What was his drug of choice? Was it cocaine? What did he do? Like a lot of opium, right?
Opium, yeah.
Wasn't it?
I like that cover too.
Absinthe. Wasn't he drinking absinthe?
Oh, you just talking about like the shades of blues and greens.
That looks cool. I might have to look into that one.
The gears. I like the gears. It feels very steampunk, right?
Yeah, it does. I like that.
Steampunk is
very cool.
It's a cool cover. Yeah. Yep. It combines my two. I love Sherlock and I love oceanish type things. Like sea things.
Yeah. No, I feel like that's a good setting for a Sherlock Holmes story and a good time period too.
Yeah.
And then Johnny's is here as well. And this one is Old Devils.
Yep. So
tell us a little bit about this one, Johnny.
So this is from online friend Matt Welding. He's actually a Boston guy, so he's local here. I just never met him, which is crazy. You'd think we'd cross paths, convention scenes and whatnot, but I know him from when I had a Twitter account.
Okay.
And
not too long ago.
I love the concept of this book. If you scroll up a little bit, there's like a little brief paragraph that really kind of summarizes it right here. 20 years ago, Jade was in a pilot for an occult themed reality show. Her husband was killed, her mentor was maimed, and her dreams of fame were destroyed. The show never aired. Now, decades after of trying to put the horror behind her and distance herself, the chaos of her youth, her mentally shattered and permanently paralyzed former mentor has some news. And it seems like there's some news of the past that comes back to haunt them. So just real cool concept that the story seems to be built on. Yeah, I love it. And Matt's written some really good stuff, and I love the art in this book. It's a little bit gritty, a little bit grimy. It feels kind of like you know what I mean? It feels like a horror book.
Yeah.
I think I saw Nightcrawler up there if you scroll up a little bit. Where is he? Where is he? There he is back there. See him back there?
Looks like Sunspot, actually.
Yeah. Maybe.
But yeah, the book looks really cool. Friend of the show. Even if you scroll up for a second there, you can see faces in the trees. You see that right there?
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah, it's real spooky shit. I love it.
Yeah, it's kind of intentionally in there, and
yeah,
I like that.
Yeah,
It's a
real.
This looks
chupacabra.
cool. You're right. This does look cool, man. Oh wow, yeah.
It looks somewhere between like cartoon and like real.
Yeah,
So
no, I
like
like the artwork
painted,
a lot.
so it feels very dreamlike.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yep. He looks like he looks like he worked for Comics Tribe, which
The
makes
illustrator
sense.
Jay Sheik did. So Jay did.
Yeah,
Jeremiah,
that-
yeah. He goes by
yeah,
Jay.
but that's what I mean. The artwork looks like it could be on one of their projects and
right.
Invader Comics. I've done lettering for those guys. So yeah, no, it's pretty cool. I like it. It looks good. It's very simple too. It's just
straightforward, no video in the campaign. No, it doesn't seem like, there's some extra books like some of his other stuff, but there's no riffraff. It's just a straight up.
This is what the kind of campaign I've been thinking about doing is more like
straightforward,
just books, 3 perks and that's it, just to get it out. And
yep. And it looks like his
cool.
it looks like he's I don't know where the goal is at the moment, but it looks like he's close with 20 hours to go. He's close.
Oh,
so
shoot, he's 20 hours.
hopefully we can get a push there for him.
Yeah, Amy shared it in the chat. So yeah, guys, check that one out. That one looks cool. I would also like do some comparisons to Late Night with the Devil. I saw that he put reality shows, but that's
kind
a
of
new one
that,
that he can kind of incorporate.
When I first
into
read
there.
the concept, it reminded me, even though it's nothing like it, it reminded me of that.
Similar, yeah, like a similar kind of idea.
Right.
Even though I thought I liked Late Night with the Devil, but I thought it was a little overrated too. But
yeah, I thought the ending could have been a little bit better, but everything else
there was
cool.
parts of it that I thought could be improved on.
Yeah.
But it still is a good one to compare to it because of the type of story it is,
Yeah, definitely a goalpost to compare to, like a mile marker.
Absolutely. So yeah, guys, check out Old Devils. See if we can help get them over in by tomorrow.
Let's get this book made.
Yeah, it looks good. This one's worthy to come out. Hopefully he has a backup plan if he doesn't hit, but that's not that bad that he might hit by, he could do this. He could definitely get to that.
Oh, for sure. And he might have a contingency plan in place too, so you never know.
Yeah, let's hope. But yeah, good luck, Matthew. Hopefully this
Johnny, when you're talking about the forest and the faces and the trees now, I watched this past the finale of Daryl Dixon's Walking Dead finale season 2.
Oh yeah,
last night.
I'm only on the 3rd episode or 4th episode.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not gonna give anything away, but there was like a scene at the very end of the finale where they're in like a cave and like they come across some like different kinds of walkers, and it's like they inhale like luminescence and weird things, and they get like a trip. They're on like the zombie. It's like it reminded me exactly of Batman Begins. When the Scarecrow unleashes. Sprays his like thing, I'm like seeing like weird like demonistic. Yeah, exactly. It's like it's basically that, but The Walking Dead. It's kind of cool. Actually,
that's cool.
Yeah, weird ending though too, but it was a good season, I guess. Some good parts to it.
I'm not into it, so yeah, I'm lost on that.
I always seen like clips of The Walking Dead here and there, but I think like zombie survival stuff just isn't my thing.
Yeah, it's nothing like the original Mother, original show, but it's like the spin-offs are kind of like weak and like, who cares, unless they get back. I mean, it makes me angry because they're all like alive still, like they're pretty much the core cast, but they're all scattered. It's like basically like any other episode of The Walking Dead because they always broke up. They always split up. Let's split up and do our own
I talk about this with a coworker who watches Walking Dead. Actually, he just finished watching Walking Dead and he's now watching these spinoffs. And the only thing that we kind of say is that all these spinoffs could be edited together to be season 12.
Yeah, right.
You didn't have to end it at 11. You could just, you know what I mean? Keep it going and make all these different spinoffs the next season.
Yeah, just make it like an anthology series after that or something,
Unless they're milking it and like hoping to do like a big reunion, like, later on, to pay it all off. Fine.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. But all right, let's move into our final segment, the self-promotion for us.
All right.
And here we go. Awesome. Were you going to say something, Devin, before I played?
I was about to say I'm about to head on out now.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for coming on, Devin. We appreciate you having you on the show.
Nice meeting you virtually.
Yeah. Have a good nice meeting you virtually. Have a good night, man. I appreciate
you too.
it.
I might still be in the comment section though.
All right, yeah, absolutely.
That's
all right,
awesome,
good night, man.
Yeah, good night.
Yep, good night.
All right. So I'll just go first because you know what I'm gonna promote.
Do it.
And then you guys I won't take up too much time here. But
take up all the time because I got very little to promote.
Okay. Mighty Mascots currently at 56%, a goal. We're 11:30 with 23 days left. So
plenty of time.
Plan on. Yeah, I well, the good thing about Indiegogo that I don't think you can do on Kickstarter, but you know, if by the end of 30 days I'm not at the goal, I can add another 30 days to go for a full 60, which I might do anyways, you know.
Sure.
And then
would you retain all prize tiers
probably,
or would you change things?
I probably would retain everything there. And
okay.
Yeah, I don't know if I would change anything, but yeah, check it out. This is a triple sized anniversary issue. It's awesome. I got some more pages in from DC Miller, who's doing one of the backup stories. That one's almost done. Day of the Lord. So it's looking like his story is going to be 15 pages. I have no idea how long the Ogle Brothers pages are going to be. I'm guessing I told them they could do, you know, whatever makes sense, 10 or 15. So if they do that, that'll be 30 pages just for the backup.
Wow.
And I think the main story is it's looking to be, I'm plotting out and breaking down the script right now, but it's looking like that's going to be 30 pages, maybe a little more, could be up to 35. So this is going to be a really thick book for $10, 65 pages at least, you know? So, and if you want to get it digitally, it's $7. So, I mean, you could get this whole thing for, you know, if you just want the comic, you know, so that's great. And then the toys, of course, is like $20 for each set. And if you buy all 4, you get the Mondo figure, which is really fun. Amy went to...
That's that really nice glow-in-the-dark one.
Yes, you get the glow-in-the-dark Mondo. And that is... I'll show a picture of it down here. This is one of the pages from DC Miller. To love his style. And it's from the Ogle Brothers, so I can't wait to see what they do. An awesome Gazbot cover. And... so here's the Brawler figures. And there's the glow-in-the-dark Mondo. Amy went and shot some videos tonight with her nephew, and she took all the toys. So I don't know if she's making some kind of like toy commercial or can't wait to see what she didn't tell me what she was.
Can't wait to see what happens there.
She didn't tell me what she was gonna do. So
I want to see some
that'll
old
be a
school
surprise
commercial
for me. Yeah, right. I would love that.
Old school.
So.
My
if
buddy
needs voiceover, Amy, if you need voiceover work, let me know.
Yeah, there you go. And then of course you got the trades on here if you want, just looking for comics, all this list of add-ons, stretch goals, you know, all the whole kit and caboodle on this campaign. So yeah, so check it out. I'd say the sweet spot is the feature is the toy and comic bundle, which is down here. It's this one, the Breakfast Club member, $100. This gets you the comic, all the figures, and the glow-in-the-dark Mondo, and then any stretch goal that's unlocked, all in one place, one convenient.
That's the tier to go for.
One-stop shop.
One-stop shop, basically. Yep. Mm-hmm. And so there's the cover by Ian. Yeah, this issue's pretty fun, man. This is a nail biter, you know, between the first infighting on the team, so they say. Like all the Avengers and the Justice Leagues, they always had those issues where they had to fight each other,
Yeah, the Civil War or whatever you want
Civil
to call
War
it.
within the ranks. So this is the first Mighty Mascots Civil War. So
I like that.
It's kind of cool. Like I just figured, like, when I was writing this, like Boom was the one character that I felt was very underdeveloped. So this was my way of kind of making him interesting, like
boosting him a little bit.
Yeah. What if he turned heel, and
I like that.
Or like what would happen, and like how would that affect the team and things like that.
Right.
So yeah, so that's what I kind of did with this issue, and I like how it's coming together. It's pretty much, it's almost like a Dragon Ball Z battle, because it's like Honey Flakes is like, I got this, and it's just basically him and Boom fighting it out, and I
love that.
Yeah, it's great, and everyone's kind of sitting around biting their nails basically the whole time. But yeah, really cool stuff. So I can't wait, and it's also going to set up the next. It'll have like a subplot setting up the next stories and things like that. Like I don't know where I want to go next, but I know I want to do a big arc with like fast food mascots, and then I have a couple one shots I would love to do. I'd love to see a Boxer Bear actually fighting in a boxing match for an issue. I'd love to do something like that.
That would be cool. The way they did Superman versus Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, maybe he fights like a polar bear, like a Russian polar bear mascot or something.
Like a Rocky IV riff.
Yeah, right.
If he dies, he dies.
I gotta have 10 montages in it, like Rocky.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. And him yelling Drago at the top of the mountain or something.
Yeah,
him and Flakes are running down the beach together in like the Speedos.
Johnny, please. It's too soon after Apollo's death.
Too soon.
It's too soon after.
I love Rocky IV, even though it's so like such shitty like
there's a robot.
Propaganda.
A robot.
It's a good movie when you've seen it like a million times and it's on TV again, and then you're like, oh, it's on again, and
you're like, I have to watch it.
You get caught up watching it. You're like
that. I went to the theater when they re-released Rocky IV with the new footage and everything.
Yeah.
Did you guys see that edit?
I haven't seen it yet. I heard it's good though.
Much better film actually now when with that edit. I mean, it was good before. I liked it before, but
are they changing it?
It's a little better. They added a lot of stuff back in, like the movie was kind of gutted, like Stallone was saying, and so he put a lot of scenes back in to kind of give Drago a little more humanity and like made the fight a little more like, yeah, it was good. It was good. And it gave a little more depth to Apollo Creed dying and stuff too. What's that?
And if I can change, and you can change the whole world.
The best is when the Russians start chanting Rocky at the end of.
Yeah, right. He just solved the Cold War. Like
I know fight. He did. I love those movies. I love Stallone on, so I love all those. I love all the
what
Rambos.
An amazing, like he has like 2-3 amazing like franchises, like Rambo, Rocky, what's the movie with all the his team up with Expendables, like what an amazing like not to mention his like one-off like Cobra and like all these like weird movies,
I love
but
Cobra.
like
Dread.
It's like
Dread, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, good
like
stuff.
What an amazing,
And Tulsa King's pretty damn great. I only watched one episode of the season 2 so far, but great franchise for him. That character is perfect for him. So yeah, so I love it. So what you fellas have any self-promotion you want to do before we end the stream?
I have a couple of quick ones. I mean,
sure, go for it.
I mean, you guys know about these. Hold on, I'm sharing it right now. What's easier to share the screen or share the window? I don't know what I'm doing here.
Yeah, share the screen and then put up what do you want to show.
All right, I think I'm sharing. Am I sharing?
I see it, but I don't see what you're showing. I only see us.
So here's let me give it.
Okay, there we go.
All right, here's the Dancing
Oh, the
Larry
Lair
Bear
Bear.
t-shirt.
Dancing
Oh,
Lair
yeah.
Bear.
T-shirt.
Talk about that
So
last time.
Yeah, so I had it printed, on this color actually. That's called like beach sand or something. And I
Okay.
gave it to the lady who's going to give it as a gift to Larry.
Yeah.
There,
So we don't
So
know
she
how
had-
well it went over yet, or no?
Not well. She loved it. She's like, "Oh, I can't wait to show him like right now." But his birthday isn't for another few weeks, so you have to hold on to it. But it came out pretty good. I like the way the printing looks pretty good. I mean, the little details in the little white of the eyes didn't quite show up, But
So are
for
you
what it
actually
is-
selling that now? through
No,
your
no.
store?
This is like a Zazzle website. It's like you can
Oh,
do like
okay.
a one-off. You can do a
Because I was
one-off.
gonna say, like, stuff like that, people will buy. Like that's like if that has hipster written all over it, like a hipster would wear that shirt. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could probably sell it on that merit alone. I think, right, Johnny?
Yeah.
Just a library.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
I could see
but-
somebody in Boston wearing that, like with their, skinny
I need to
jeans.
know the reaction. I need to know if Lair Bear himself likes
maybe-
the shirt. So
Yeah, you have
we
to-
need
you
to
have to-
follow up. Better
Yeah,
yet,
you'll
if we
maybe
can get
follow
Lair
up.
Bear on the show wearing the shirt, that would be even
Maybe I'll
better.
maybe I'll
Next level.
maybe I'll record it when he's like,
Please
The
do
big-
that.
the
You
big-
should do that.
this guy
Get the
is like
recording and we'll
Candid
play the
camera.
video.
this guy's
What if he
pretty
really
inti-
hates it, and we have this awesome footage of
I
Lair Bear
love-
hating the shirt.
That reminds me of the SNL like we secretly switch your coffee with this, the
was it?
John. No, that was what's the guy's name? Chris Farley, SNL. He's like doing the coffee commercial, and like
Oh,
we
yeah.
secretly switch,
Yeah, yeah.
and he goes
Why
nuts and
you
destroys.
son of-
I can do
That's
that.
one of the best sketches.
That is a
Well,
good one.
So the other
other
That
thing
one
I
and
was-
the Sopranos one is pretty damn good too.
Am I still sharing here?
I think so. Yeah.
I'm gonna
Okay, so
say
the other thing
the other fun thing here is seeing all the little folders that Harry has in the background, like Toothy and
those
Lucy
are all-
and
I can-
Monadnock. These are all
I can
like
show-
secret spy like case ID names.
Well,
Like
Oh,
like
is
Operation
it
Lucy
commercial?
and Operation Toothy and Operation Monadnock. I'd love to know
Toothy,
what
I can-
Operation Monadnock.
this is
I can
Harry's
show you-
commercial.
This
He's in
is so-
Oh, the commercial. Yes, run it.
So my head appears at the 32-second mark. not the back of my head. I'll pause
You
it.
gotta
You
make
wanna
it
see
full screen. You gotta make it full.
Yeah, you gotta go full screen on this one, Harry.
I don't know what the sound's gonna sound like because it's on my speaker, but
I don't even know if we
Can
can
you hear this?
it.
Can't hear it.
No,
That's
but we
Should I
don't
give you the
probably
link?
don't need the sound.
anyway, so here's Mr.
So
probably
this
one of
is
the best to-
so you answered the call for a insurance company commercial.
calling New England, Amica insurance commercial.
So you
Finally,
showed
Amica-
up and they wanted you to pretend to play basketball. Is that what it is?
Well, no, I mean, I mean, I know I look like how I look, but I can't play. I've been known to
Look
play.
like how
I know I know I'm a nerd.
I
and
look
everything,
how I look,
but
hey, white men
but
can.
don't let my
jump.
looks fool you. Right.
Wait,
Here's
man,
some
kid.
scenery of New England, people playing basketball, and this is like Mike Gorman, former announcer for the Celtics. So here's where I play in this gym, and here
Okay.
I am, right there I am. You see me?
Oh, right
if you
there.
blink,
Is that you right
There
there?
you are.
if you blink, you'll miss me. There I am, guarding
There
this
You
guy.
are.
Wait,
Who's
hold on,
that
let me-
mysterious man?
Yeah,
Wait a
right.
second.
Who's that guy blocking the other guy?
there
Here I am. Whoa!
Ah!
he is. I can
Take
tell
that
by
damage.
your irreverent hand waving that it was you. It matches your
Yeah.
cadence.
My sister called me laughing. It's like, Harry, you're the only white guy on the court. I'm like, yeah, I know. So it's pretty cool. I mean, it's a brief appearance, but I beat out 17 other people that they're sitting on the bench. So whatever. For that fleeting moment, it's pretty cool. So I was telling my sister too. I'm like, yeah, I went shopping at the grocery store and I had to wear a hat. It's like, why? I'm like, I didn't want people recognizing the back of my head. I had to keep it concealed. Wait, I don't know who you are for like by looking at you, but like, well, let me turn around. Oh my god, you're that guy.
We'll have to make a video like here's Harry in this commercial or something. So,
But I'm
funny.
very. So this guy that I was guarding, he's like, he's an actor and also a self promoter. He's his own agent. And so after the commercial was over, after we're done filming, the other people gathered around. I'm like, "What are you guys doing?" He's like, "Well, this guy is an agent. Maybe he can get us work." I'm like, "Oh, all right, whatever." And the guy the guy grabs my phone and gives me his his info. I'm like, "Yeah, okay, I'll follow you." And so he posted the commercial on his Instagram. So I'm like, "Hey, I'm the guy guarding you." But it was funny because I was making him laugh. I'm like, all right. I had the ball. I'm like, oh, he had the ball. I'm like, all right, I got this guy right here. And he's like, okay, do you really have me? I'm like, yeah, I'll guard you. I mean, of all the guys to like guard, I was like the least likeliest, guy.
I love it.
That's why it was pretty
so
funny,
dude.
It was fun though.
No, it's good. You should get on that. If you want to do more of that, you should talk to Amy. She's on some website.
Yeah, so am I. I'm on.
Oh, you're on
that
there.
too.
Okay,
I'm on
but
that one.
she's gotten work from it, and some of it's paying, which is nice.
A lot of the ones are like based, out of New York and New Jersey and stuff. So
she's
I'm not
doing
gonna
something in Boston on Wednesday, possibly.
Mhm.
So like it's it's interesting. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm like a spider. If it's not happening around me, I'm not gonna like budge from my little post here. If it's within driving distance, I'll go do it. I'll
yeah,
fly to
right.
it,
No, but yeah, no. So that's funny. How about you, Johnny? Anything you want to?
Nothing. I got nothing. I'm just trying to get my digital life back in order.
Well, you said you had some little thing, or you have nothing.
So yeah, I have control of my Instagram and my LinkedIn, and that's as of like yesterday and today or whatever, a couple days ago.
Well,
but
hopefully, I'm keeping my fingers crossed. You get a hold of Facebook and Twitter. I mean, that's annoying.
So
shit.
Carmel Conrad texted me today and said she remembers you suffering from something like that a few years ago. Do you remember that happening, Keith? Yeah.
No, I never had anyone hack me.
Like
that
somebody
I'm aware
stole your
of.
identity or something?
No, not that I'm aware of.
So maybe she saw it and reported it, but never told you about it. But she mentioned that she saw.
She might be talking about what. So when we do Plastic City, we get a lot of people like claiming that they're part of Plastic City, and that they're selling.
She may have
selling
been thinking
tickets through this link, or vendors come to this link, and there's a lot of that stuff, a lot of shenanigans that go on there.
Yeah.
So me and Amy have to monitor Facebook like daily just to make sure those.
It's almost like you need a Facebook for things like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. But those are the one that might be what she's referring to. But my personal Facebook has never been hacked, and that I'm aware of. Do you know how it happened, Johnny? I'm
pretty sure what happened was because I was very foolishly maintaining the same old password across several platforms. One of those platforms got breached, and then they probably saw some correlation between my email and the same password over and over again. And they're like, "Oh, we could fuck this kid," and they did proper.
It's so annoying. Like when this.
Well, I mean, shame on me for not being more secure with my shit, but also,
still, yeah,
recovery shouldn't be this hard either. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. As soon as you approve that, it's you. It's like, I don't know.
I wouldn't be gun shy about
things. Sorry, go on, Harry.
No, I wouldn't be gun shy about getting your accounts back. I mean, maybe you'll get even. It can't be that hard. I mean, it won't be difficult to get all your peeps back. Right, your contacts back.
I mean, if
I wouldn't open up a new account if I can't get back into my old accounts. I'm done. I think
I'm just gonna be on Instagram.
Yeah, I'm just gonna use what I have. But because there's some like maybe this is a blessing. Maybe this is my out of social media. You know what I mean,
dude? Honestly. Yeah, I know. It's like, what do you need? Well, this would be your time. What I would do, Johnny, if that happens, if you can't get these back, I would start a newsletter and get people to sign
I'm gonna
up
have
for
to.
that.
Gonna have to do that now.
And then just make a quick newsletter every month, whether you have any info or not, you know?
Yeah.
And then use this show as a part of your social media, especially if you have a campaign, we'll push the shit out of it here, and then
sure. Yeah. So
we'll
really,
play any trailer you make on here as well, so.
Yeah. So I'm looking at the challenges of just rebuilding a fan base through ulterior means. And the reason why I'm really concerned about it is that when I look at the statistics for my last campaign and analytics, a lot of my sources came from Facebook and Twitter, the two things I no longer have access to. So that's where I'm going to have to lean on people to promote through those avenues for me.
Yeah. Yeah. And we would share links for you too and stuff,
Right.
And, but yeah, no, definitely. So that's what I would do if I lost Twitter and Facebook. I would be all right, great. I'd be like, great. Now I have more time to do a newsletter.
Yeah,
and you got to think about that too. A lot of comic writers, I think that's all they do. They might have some social media, but James Tinian, I follow. I get his newsletter, and he's not on Twitter. He has a Twitter, but he's never on it. He never tweets anything. And if he has anything else like Instagram, I don't even know about it. It's the only thing, the news from him comes from his newsletter to me, So.
And I wouldn't even do it monthly though. I would only do as send out a notification on an as needed basis. Oh, check out this campaign. If one for Mighty Mascots, or oh, hey, I'm launching this next campaign, or oh, here's some new artwork. You know what I mean? I wouldn't do a fucking bombard you
newsletter,
right? Exactly. It would just really
because
be
I signed up for Travis Gibbs,
the Orange Cone, Cone Productions. Yeah, it's good.
It's not bad. He comes up with little themes he talks about, and so that's what when I was doing mine, I was doing something similar to that. Not really the themes, but more here's a movie review of something I just saw or something like that. I was trying to make it so it was worth reading, and it wasn't just promo,
yeah.
So.
Nandor does the same thing. He'll shout out something that he saw or read or watched that he really likes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
I'm not on there, but what about a new Threads account, Johnny? I'm not on there. I'm not on Threads.
Well, you would do that through Instagram, but I
would do that through Instagram, and that might supplement my Twitter, since my Twitter's gone. You know what I mean? Unless what was the fingers crossed, I can retrieve these accounts, but I'm behaving and acting like I can't, based upon how minimal I've received back from Twitter in terms of an appeal.
Gotcha. Well, I heard Threads, you can't undo it once you add it in, so that people are pissed about that. But I don't know if that's.
But then at that point, if you have it, you just
if you don't have anything else, why wouldn't you?
Right? Don't log in.
Yeah, right. So
yeah,
I imagine it's the way people talk about it sounds like it's just linked directly with your Instagram. I was afraid to pull the trigger on it because honestly, I don't want any more social media. What I have is what I have, and that's it. I don't want anything new.
What you know what I mean? More than enough.
That's why I haven't done TikTok or any of that crap.
I deleted TikTok because
I don't want to.
I don't want to put. There's too much work to put into that.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want another thing.
Many apps, too many alerts on your phone. I don't care.
Too many things to manage that you have to do, right? And then it's less becoming. Then it becomes less about comics and more about marketing, and it's just that's whatever. But if you think about it, right, and like you said yourself best, Keith, is that you look at the pros and they don't they market more towards a mailing list or things of that nature, when in fact you kind of do need the social media, though. You do kind of need that as a
those guys are, and also I should. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say it plugs you in and also allows you to connect when you're not at a convention. They have the opportunity to keep connecting with people.
Yeah,
right. And that's the difficulty there. That's kind of one of my little regrets.
And the other thing I forgot to preface by saying, these guys have worked on Batman and Spider-Man and all these books that made them what they are, so they don't have to try as so hard on social media because they've already got an audience, you know.
Plus, I'm sure they have people managing their own social medias for them anyway.
It could be,
Right.
yeah. I know Tinian,
Probably true.
that's definitely the case. But yeah. So yeah, I agree with you, Johnny. It's nice to have that. Hey, look who I just met, or you know, that kind of thing. Or I'm here at this convention right now. Come see me. That kind
John
of thing.
Cena followed me right before I got obliterated from Twitter. Unsolicited. He's following me. I wasn't following him.
Oh,
John
shit.
Cena
How'd that
followed
happen?
me, and then my fucking Twitter got obliterated.
He seems like a cool guy. I mean, he's like a down to earth guy. You should try to get him.
I couldn't see him. He just followed me. That's it. I couldn't see him though.
That's cool. Like, were you tweeting stuff about wrestling and stuff, or
I don't know. I don't know how he got into my orbit, but he did.
That's cool. I like that. Very cool. I have a couple of good comic writers that follow me, like Scott Snyder and I know there's a bunch, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But like, I'm always impressed. Like, oh yeah, they follow me. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know?
What's his superhero's name again? I forget. I've seen the parts of the first season. Seen as a superhero with the helmet.
Peacemaker.
Oh, Peacemaker. Yeah,
right. Yeah.
They're eventually supposed to make another season, but I don't think it's ever happening at this point. It feels like if it does, it's going to be a while. You know.
Yeah.
Way Warner Brothers is hurting, I guess, from what I heard, making stuff. But all right, well, we're running out of steam, so everyone, so we'll be back. I think we're live. I think we're live the next 2 weeks, and then we're off on the 25th, which is the week of Thanksgiving. So that's nice to have that week off. But next week we got Hades and the Pawn Brothers, which should be a good show. So anybody that's a wrestling fan, definitely join us next Monday, because we're going to be talking a lot of wrestling. And these guys seem pretty cool. And they're making a comic, so we'll check that out. And then the following week after that, we have like 3 people: Leighton Cobb, Russ Casimir Sack, I think is how you say it, and Joe Worley. So we have 3 guests coming up that week. Oh, and one thing me and Johnny kind of talked about, Harry, that I should bring up, and then why we're live, if anyone's watching, they want to give their opinion. But we talked about, like, you know how tonight, how we had 2 guests on the show. We started talking about maybe treating it like a kind of like a Tonight Show thing, where we've interviewed the first guest for like a half hour, and then the second guest for like a half hour, you know, or 45 minutes, however long it takes. And, you know, with time, we can kind of time it out and try to wrap things up, and, you know, but what do you think of that? Like, if we interview them like one at a time rather than having all 3, or do you think it's better as a group where we can all? Well,
I think that's probably a good idea if we maybe interview them for a short amount of time, because I like the when the guests talk to each other and ask each other questions too. So that's kind of cool when they
that does happen once in a while, depending on who we have, which is kind of nice, you know.
So if we keep it short, like a 10-15 minute interview or whatever, and then, you know, bringing them all in, and they can you know, ask each other questions. And I like that, you know, camaraderie, or the interchange of questions.
And we shouldn't ask if they want to stick around for the end. We should just kick them out.
Yeah, like say,
you know what I mean?
Well,
like, like when it gets to that section where it's like, because it almost makes the awkward moment where they could like say yes or no. You know what I mean? So instead of just like, okay, well, we're now moving on to the Shameless promotions. Thanks for coming on, guys. See you later. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
And that way it prevents any like, oh, well, like I have to go do this, or, you know, they're coming up with an excuse or whatever. But it's probably they're just out of steam. And they're like, okay, I'm good. Or, oh, I got to go take a leak, and I don't want to say it on the air, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, we can try that idea. I mean, that might be something, you know, just to try it out, like a, you know, just, you know, I mean, during the 2 or 3 person. I don't know, actually, if it's wrestling.
Well, I'd say if we do it, we would maybe start at the beginning of 2025 or something, and like start when I start scheduling people, I can say, all right, well, if we have 2 guests, the second guest comes in, they could come on into the green room at like 9:45 or something. So they don't have to stay. They don't have to be there right at 9. They can join us at 9:45.
We can talk about a reformat and put a time.
Well, if we do
that way we don't go
show.
over either. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
exactly.
Like we're looking at right now, we're almost about to breach 3 hours.
Which is crazy. Yeah, I know.
Which is crazy. What's our viewer count? How's our viewer count been, actually? I'm curious.
It's been about in the 30s tonight. It's still
lower
at
than the last time? Lower than before?
I think so, yeah.
I wonder how
Definitely.
much of that is the lack of my connectivity for my socials.
I think some of it is. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, last week we had, well, that was the launch party, and we had a lot of viewers that week. It was like 100
something, right?
Yeah, which is crazy. So this week's been about 30, 35. Though,
I'm not connected to anything right now. We're streaming on your merits.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Gotcha. So so there you go. I was about to try Instagram next time on mine. I'll try streaming there and see how that goes.
Just got to remember to shut it down.
I do. Yeah, I got to read how that all works and stuff. So
it's pretty easy. It's just a matter of keeping another window open.
Yeah,
which also drains your processes on the system in which you're using. So if you're using an old system like I do, that will drain. And that, sometimes I glitch or I freeze or I
do you
fall into
have
a delay.
To leave it open when you're streaming from here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should be able to handle that, but I don't know. We'll have to see.
I need to get a new system soon anyway, because they're doing away with Windows 10.
Oh, okay.
So, and you're gonna have to get, and all my stuff is Windows 10 right now. It's
Gotcha.
So,
speaking of
all right, guys,
Ralph,
let's go ahead and wrap this up.
Am I glitching?
No.
All right, everybody. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, we appreciate that. Like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Join us weekly. We'll be live the next 2 Monday nights at 9 p.m. and then we'll be back to our regular schedule after that.
We hope everybody survives election day tomorrow. Good luck.
Yeah, please. Yeah. If anything, just vote. That's all I'm going to say. I don't care who you vote for. Just vote. And that's all I'm going to say on that, because we don't want to deal with politics. I don't want to hear any more about fucking tomorrow, to be honest with you. But all right, guys, have a great night. Most importantly, read some comics, and we'll see you next Monday. Night, everybody.
Good night.